Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst live special with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by General Joe's REBORN.com. Hope everyone is having a lovely holiday weekend, I guess. Yeah, because it's Monday, isn't it? Completely have no idea what the days are anymore. Anyway, hope you all had a nice time on MLK Day. We certainly did. We had a lovely day today. Set up some bookshelves as well, or some display shelves. But so you can all look, see, cheeky. That's kind of over there. Might end up being my background. We'll work. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to set up all the classified figures over there. And speaking of classified, nice segue, McLeod. Yes, we are going to be talking tonight about what 2024 could bring. Well, not what could it bring, but what we know is coming, basically. And we're just going to talk through all of the name-only reveals we've got to dig through. There's loads of them. Any digital renders that we're aware of currently that obviously we haven't seen product of yet. And which there isn't much of that. And then just a few little cheeky unofficial leaks at the end as well, we'll throw in there. So we're going to be getting into Classified Series 2024 basically today. And looking at all of the stuff that, I mean, there's a lot coming, isn't there? And when I did the live the other day regarding the listings, I felt I kind of want to talk about all of the official stuff that we know is coming, and just kind of like how what do we know about it, but then also just talk through it with you guys and see what you're excited about, and so on and so forth. So anyway, let's get on with it. It's not a news segment. I don't know why I'm kind of doing it like that. But anyway, it is a news burst. Technically, it's a news burst, isn't it? It's a news burst live is what it is. So 2024, looking forward to Classified 2024. And we shall start with the massive amounts of name-only reveals. This also makes me sweat a little bit because there's so many videos I haven't done yet. Where did I get to? I think I'm currently working on Iron Grenadiers, but that would be there's still another 4 after that. I've still got to do Nemesis Immortal, Xandar, Stardust, 11. It's just there's too much to do. I might, I might even change those to live episodes, and we'll do like a little history, in that sense instead. That might be more fun to do, and it'll be easier for me, less editing. I might end up doing that, honestly. But anyway, let's start on the left-hand side of this page with the name-only reveals. We've got Joe on the left, Cobra on the right. Seems to be a lot of Cobra over there on the right-hand side, doesn't there? 6 Joes and 10 Cobra name-only reveals to get through. So Starduster. Let's start with Starduster. Now there's one we don't really have. The only information we really have is that it's a deluxe, and it's an Daphne Deluxe is the full listing. So we're expecting something slightly more than just your average. And I genuinely don't know what that is. So I'm kind of excited to see what that will bring, because obviously Starduster is a simple character figure sort of scenario, isn't he? When you think about it, really. Also, sorry, shout out to everyone in the comments. There's loads of you. Mr. Popinski, David Allen, Ryan Daly, Flaffle, Derek Holyman, Holy Man. Sorry, Derek. A Punk with Toys, Philly Jones, RKW, loads of you, Death Valley Machine, Wilfredo Diaz, Sucked on 3, Felix Araquinas, I'm not sure if I said that correctly, Jeremy Kimberlin. Hello, everybody. Slave, hello, everybody in the chat. Hope everyone is doing really well. Let's come back to Starduster now. Sorry, I just felt like I was completely ignoring everyone that was commenting. No, get your comments in. I'll be asking questions periodically. I'll try and answer as many as I can as well that I notice. Anyway, yes, so Starduster. So the figure, I mean, it's a simple premise, isn't it? It is effectively a redecoed kit bash of a kind of figure in historically, but I imagine we'll get a new head. I imagine we'll get there'll be a few new parts, but to be honest, maybe not, because I think he's got everything he needs to be Starduster. We've got the new what's it called? Duke, the retro Duke. the new retro Duke. That makes no sense at all, does it? We've got that coming, and that effectively fills a few gaps for Starduster, including the helmet. Obviously, the jump jetpack, which exists in the line now in multiple ways. What else am I saying? Is that it? I think that's it. Oh, and the didn't he have he had that kind of what gun was it? He had that gun that we know is already in the line already, and I've completely forgotten what it is. Sorry, just having a brain fart right now. Sorry, Mark. It's bedtime. What are you doing starting a stream now? You're just gonna have to stay up, buddy. Sorry. Yeah, it's Gung Ho's gun. Yes, Gung Ho. Thank you. It's Gung Ho's gun. Thank you, everybody that has just commented that. There's a lot of you. Ryan, Jeremy, James. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Ryan twice, actually. Right. So, yeah. So I don't really think there's a lot that needs to be done to Starduster other than that head. So give him a new head sculpt, and I think we're good to go with Starduster. Redeco him, fancy, lovely stuff, and then it's really all about what he comes with, because by all accounts, when you delve into the listings, you know, as a detective, as a listings detective, as a licensed listings detective, self-appointed, you get a lot. You can kind of gather a lot more than is actually being said. So I think we're going to be seeing a significant thing with Starduster. It just makes sense. So that I'm very excited to see what that will be. And I sort of hope it is something like a jump pad that also doubles as a Dragonfly helipad, because I think that would just be genius. It's like a no-brainer. And I know I've said that a few times. It's just something I think Paul Pamphilone from Plastic Battles, I think it was his idea, if I'm correct in remembering. And ever since he said that, I've just been like, damn, that is such a good idea. I'm going to steal it for my own. But obviously not, because I just told you who it was, who had the idea first. I'm not that way inclined, honestly. I'm not that way inclined at all. So yes, Starduster, wicked. Very excited for that one. That is obviously the first one on the list. Check. Next up, one of the newest name only reveals is Leatherneck. That popped up very recently in the December event, did it not? Lenny and Emily gave us, Antony gave us that one and Xandar, but we'll get to Xandar a little bit later. Or I'll probably forget to do Xandar because he just kind of like, you know, just disappears into the background, doesn't he? They hinted Road Pig, but only with the tan version. Oh yeah, that was a joke, Tags. They were joking. I imagine. Well, it has been like unofficially leaked that Road Pig is coming, but I'm pretty almost positive that it will be the regular one. But yeah, I think they were just kidding, and they were just throwing it around in the event. They weren't necessarily hinting at Road Pig. They were just, you know, it was having a joke basically at his expense. But no, I would I fully, you know, again, the leak for Road Pig is a pretty legitimate one. So I imagine we're going to be getting the regular version, and then therefore I'd be up for a tan version in the future. I'd be up for a Sonic Fighters one, 100%. I want all the Sonic Fighters, man. That'd be so dope. Anyway, let's rewind it back. Leatherneck. Sorry, I'm just looking at some of the comments that are coming in. There seem to be quite a few. Apologies. Yeah, Death Valley Machine says, looking forward to his head sculpt. He was a full-out repaint of Duke back in the day. Speaking of Starduster, correct? Yes. Do you think he'll come with some flames to come out the jump jetpack, Danny? Yeah, blast effects, I would imagine so, yes. There are some recent rumors that some Transformers for this year are being pushed back or cancelled. How do you feel if that also happened to G.I. Joe this year, says Robert H. Robert H., we've had pushbacks. We've had all sorts of weird things. And actually, we didn't get information come out and then know that it was cancelled, but we have had cancelled product that hasn't made it out in terms of what the public knows. So there has been stuff that was on the docket that has been taken down. Major Blood was one of them. It wasn't a big deal, was it? It was just that he was going to come in the retro line per listings line plan. And then they switched to the Crimson Guard because they thought it was going to be the last two figures of the retro, and it turned out not to be. But either or, we have had some things like that. How would I feel though? I'd feel pretty rubbish if it was one of those things where it was like, um, you know, we're going to be doing this and it's revealed and that kind of stuff, and then it gets cancelled. The only thing I can think of, actually, something did GI Joe get cancelled, didn't it? It was the Nerf rifle. They're going to do that Nerf rifle with the. I wasn't a massive fan, genuinely, of that idea. Nerf and GI Joe, yes. The fact they had Nerf like weapons in the classified series, they could have jumped on that, and they didn't. They could have done the classic Sunbow laser blaster. They didn't do that. They could have, Snowjob's rifle, basically. They could have done Flint's pistol, aka the Sunbow pistol. They could have done all sorts of different things that made sense to GI Joe and Nerf, but then they did that just a regular Nerf gun that had no connection to Joe other than it had GI Joe on one side and Cobra on the other, and it was, I just honestly, from a design perspective, it was just god awful, wasn't it? And I'm not surprised, honestly, that because it kind of came out like, it was during an event. There were lots of other pre-orders and stuff like that. That's the only thing I can think of that there was like kind of directly GI Joe cancelled. But there probably is more. I'm just not remembering. I mean, the whole design aesthetic, there was probably a lot that got chopped and we didn't end up seeing. And that's probably why we got like delays on certain characters like Storm Shadow, for example. So we've kind of had it, just not as in your face, I don't think, as the Transformers stuff. Although I want to say, Rob H, hasn't the Transformers kind of cancellations been a little bit more like, I'm not saying hearsay and rumor like it's not true, but it hasn't been like officially explained or hasn't been officially out there before it's been cancelled. You'll have to remind me on that one. I know, was it Hound was supposed to come out or something? Was it Hound? And it didn't. Let me know the details, please, in a later comment, and I'll try and get to that in a second. Talking Joe says there was the convention exclusive Starduster custom. Probably the thought process was, well, obviously they'll never make an official one of these. Yes, Mark, absolutely. Death Valley Machine, looking forward to Leatherneck. Yeah, we'll kind of come back to Leatherneck. Absolutely, Death Valley Machine. Ryan Daly, everyone forgets about Xandar. I think that's true, but not. I'm glad they haven't. I'm glad we got Xandar coming. Wilfredo says, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a small box of cereal with Starduster as the homage they did with the Slaughter figure having a tiny Slaughter. I would love that. I would absolutely love that so much. Diana Davis says, your live video is interrupting me watching the other live video I missed. I'm assuming this current live video will be interrupted by you with another live video. I'm so sorry, Diana. Yeah, it's hard to watch the show when I'm churning the content out left, right, and center. Hello, Future Fortress Maximus. David says, what about a Ninja Road Pig? Ninja Commandos? Hell yeah. Do you think Jinx will come with more than one head sculpt? I don't know, Danny. I don't know. I'd like to think yes. I'd like to think they'd do something, or at least have removable blindfold. But no, I think I would love to see some sort of hooded, and then a head, like an exposed head with the hair, and then maybe a removable blindfold to go over the non-hooded head. I'd like to see that. Yeah, 2 head sculpts and a removable blindfold would be wicked for Jinx. I don't know if that's going to be the case, though. Again, no idea. That's all speculative. Derek says, I think the box itself will look like the box of cereal for Starduster. That would be amazing as well. Oh, with the comic, and I don't think the comic was ever printed beyond the mock-up for the show. Right. Was that what were you talking about there, Diana? Was that cancelled things? Should have been the XMLR. Exactly, Jeremy. Yes, Snowjob's rifle or the Sunbow rifle. Can we get G.I. Joe in Call of Duty or more Fortnite? Help expose more people to G.I. Joe's as Flaffle. Yeah, I mean, I think they tried, didn't they, with Fortnite? I'm not sure if it took very well. And again, you could argue it's because it was during the period of the movie or what have you, but certainly the design was a classified one for Fortnite. So I think they could do that kind of stuff. I mean, Sci-Fi didn't get cancelled, did it, David? We don't know necessarily. Sci-Fi was never confirmed, so it didn't exist in the first place to the public but it could have been one of those ones that they designed, they wanted to do in the classified series in that style, and it never happened. Okay, I've nearly got to everyone's. Sorry about that. I just had to kind of stop and make sure. There was a lot of comments coming in. Um, I hope Jinx has an unmasked head, and she needs to have a nail polish like a vintage figure, big time. Robert H says, well, every cancelled TF thing that happened, we only knew about because of leaks, and those same leakers are saying that 2 figures from Legacy United and 2 Studio Series this year are cancelled. Okay, yeah, Robert H, that makes more sense. So it's like leaks initially and then leaks again for the cancellations. That is interesting. We have had a couple of things pop up on line plans that never made it. So we have had that, but again, it's very secretive. I don't think it really gets out there in like a kind of public domain sort of situation. So if it were to happen in the open, if they were to reveal something and then take it away from us, I genuinely think that would suck. But it depends on a lot of things, really. Like, what's the cancellation for? Like, is there a reason for it? Because if there's a cancellation, does that mean that the line is coming to? Like, by the way, this isn't happening. This is all rhetorical, metaphorical, that kind of stuff. Okay, like the position of a cancellation, there would have to be something very specific to it being cancelled, or something very catastrophic being cancelled. Do you know what I mean? Like the end of the line, and that's why it's cancelled, or it would be a case of, you know, we're not doing this because of A. And if it made sense, you know, like, fair enough. Yeah. But that, like I said, it would suck, and I would hate it, and I'm sure it sucks for Transformers fans at the moment who were excited for any of those particular figures. Um, anyway, staying warm up in Rhode Island. Thank you, Fluffle. I am. I'm in a t-shirt tonight. That's how cozy it is down here in my very warm basement. By the way, I love this little nook that I operate in. It's actually really cool. I might do like a video to show you guys the setup one of these days. You've kind of almost seen a bit more of it when I did the unboxing of the His Tank, because I had to, you know, push it back a little bit. But yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about. I've got to Leatherneck yet. Leatherneck. So really excited to have Ron Rudat's head sculpt. Just kidding. But obviously the original Leatherneck had Ron Rudat's likeness. Whereas his name was attached to Dusty, aka Tador, his surname Tador, which obviously backwards is Rudat. So Ron's actually had a few figures with his, like, you know, solidly connected to him. Dusty and Leatherneck are the only two that spring to mind at the moment. But anyway, yeah, so I would kind of love, and that's Ron's face that you can see on screen there as well, because they used his likeness for the artwork as well. That doesn't necessarily happen as much anymore. They stopped doing it, basically. Do you want to know the reason why? You might already know this. I'm pretty sure it's kind of like common knowledge to a degree. It might not be hugely widespread, but basically, when they used to do that, they used to kind of put random names in, like people's name. Like I spoke to Alex Russo recently, and he put his sons in. He put his name in. He put his buddy John Blanchett's name as topside, who was our realtor, for goodness sake. How? I still can't get over that. That our realtor for our house was topside, and I will never ever understand how that happened. But anyway, there you go. Small blooming world, honestly. But so they did that, and then an issue arose where a Hasbro, like a Hasbro employee had been, I can't remember who it was. Some people might know in the comments, but one of an older Hasbro employee had their name attached to a figure, and they were let go. They were made redundant, and this was this was a long time ago. This stopped happening in like the 2000s ish era, I think. I want to say it wasn't like super recent, but it wasn't like crazy. It wasn't. We weren't talking 80s, 90s. It's in the 2000s era, and basically I think they sued, or they asked, or they said to Hasbro that they didn't want their name to be attached to that particular figure, and I think it caused some issues litigation wise. and they decided from that moment onwards never to have employee names or likenesses on figures and stuff like that. Obviously, it might happen occasionally, sneakily, unofficially, not admitted to, etc., etc. But for the most part, um, yeah, that for the most part, they don't. That's not done anymore officially. The last, in fact, the last time they broke that whole thing during the Sightline situation with Gary Goggles Head, rest in peace. Gary, who was like a huge in the Gary, who was huge in the GI Joe fandom. He was like, again, like he was well known and beloved throughout the GI Joe community. Did some amazing things with Hasbro as well, and obviously was doing great things with Joe Declassified. And the Hasbro team decided to make it to put Gary's name on Sightline, a figure that came with the SDCC, one of the SDCC Sky Strikers. So that was amazing. That was really cool. And yeah, I'm kind of like happy that they kind of broke the cycle for that. And I know he wasn't an employee of Hasbro, that was slightly different, but they decided just, to go back to the names and likenesses don't relate to any known human, etc., etc. So it was kind of done on the low back in the day anyway, but it was more fun. They didn't really care too much until it bit them on the bum. Dwight at Marvel team is a Joe. Yeah, Dwight Stall. He is what is it, like barrel roll and what's the what Blackout? Is he barrel roll, Dwight? He's one of the stalls anyway, isn't he? I'm sure he is. I can't remember now. Torpedo Edward Lealoa was named for Marvel artist Steve Lealoa. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, there's loads like that. There's absolutely tons of them. Anyway, let's move on because I'm getting stuck into these silly little things. Anyway, Leatherneck, really excited. I'm expecting single figure, standard retail, all that kind of good stuff. I don't expect it to be a deluxe. I do expect it to be kind of pretty much, as you'd expect down the line with Leatherneck as we know him in his vintage styling. Then we move on to Alpine. Here's another one I'm really excited for. Also, coming back to Leatherneck, does Leatherneck kind of like hint at a future wetsuit? I feel like it does. I feel like you got Torpedo on one side, there's the basis, and then you got Leatherneck appearing now. So I kind of feel like wetsuit it's only a matter of time. Barrel roll, thank you, Jeremy. Yes, I thought it was Dwight. Yeah, because it's him, and then Blackout's his brother. Although I'm not sure if it's his real brother, but in the universe of GI Joe, Blackout, Barrel Roll, and Bomb Strike are the stalls, I think, aren't they? Which is a cool little storyline. And the fact that Barrel Roll, that Blackout ends up being a defects to Cobra is really interesting little kind of dynamic with that family. Anyway, Alpine. Talk about wetsuit another time. Alpine, hopefully with the name only revealed around the corner. So Alpine again is going to complete the Sunbow trifecta. That has to be I'm probably going to do it with my Hiss tank at some point. I'm going to put Quick Kick, Bazooka, and Alpine underneath the Hiss tank, try and get them in the wheel wells or something. They really should have done that on the Hiss tank. That should have been a feature. Make sure that there's a kind of like a bar underneath that Bazooka can like uncomfortably lie on. I think it's Bazooka in the middle, is it? Is Bazooka in the middle or is Alpine in the middle? I can't remember now of the three. I know Quick Kick is on like the left-hand side of the screen as you look at it. Maybe Bazooka's on the right and Alpine's in the middle. Anyway, it's irrelevant and it doesn't matter. But Alpine, Bazooka, and Quick Kick will be united. With Alpine, I'm again, this one we know is a 4-figure wave standard retail. Elroy, I believe, is his listing name. So we know he's going to come, with accessories, but not necessarily with the tons you'd expect for some sort of deluxe offering. So he'll be a standard retail. Maybe he'll get a lot of the accessories in that particular 4-figure wave, but you've also got to take into consideration Iron Grenadiers, the Iron Grenadier Bat, whoopsie, and the other figure in that wave, which I can't say. So I think like with that, I think Alpine would be one that you'd focus a lot of the accessories with there. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I'm really excited for that one. Alpine, another one to check off the list. Then we get to Jinx. Now, this is another exciting one. We've already talked a little bit about Jinx. And when I was asked the question, would I like to see her with an unmasked head? 100%. I think to do Jinx right, she's also one of four-figure wave, by the way, which Jinx and Doc are part of a four-figure wave, and Alpine. We don't know if Leatherneck is yet, but I'm assuming he is. And Starduster is a deluxe, and a bigger deluxe than your normal deluxe because it's got the designation on the listing. Is everyone paying attention? I hope not. I hope so. So yeah, so with Jinx, I expect because they do multiple heads in single in the kind of like standard release wave figures now. Quick Kick's got it. Loads of them do. It's not just Quick Kick, loads of them do. So that isn't a problem. I could see them doing Jinx with the hooded head, with the unhooded head, the exposed head with the hair. But I genuinely really want a blindfold. Like not a head with a blindfold on it, a removable blindfold, because that would definitely keep the tooling costs a bit lower. You wouldn't have to do another head sculpt, and you'd be able to, have lots of options for her. And I kind of feel like she needs a blindfold. I really do. And I guess push came to shove, you can cut a bit of red material yourself and just wrap it around the figure as a custom. I mean, you can do that if you want, obviously. They can give Wetsuit the submersible they gave the Recon diver, says Derek. Yeah, I think they could. I'm not sure if I'd want his like retro, like his actual vintage style ones though. That big halogen, ridiculous like halogen lamp he's got as well under the water with a loop on it. I did love that. The fact that the accessories had little loops on, so they wouldn't kind of like, if they let go of it, it would stay attached to his wrist. Very cool little attention to detail on the vintage figure there for Wetsuit. But anyway, yes, Jinx. I think having her, I forget the name of. I know I did a video on this, and I even said the name of what that weapon is with the very decorative kind of like end pieces on the bow staff. Guys, can you remind me in the comments what it's called? I've said it on a video. I've written it multiple times. I'm just having a brain fart. Anyway, I'd love her to have that. Oh, Naginata. Thank you, Jamie Lynn. Thank you, Jamie Lynn Parks. Her Naginata is exactly what it's called. Yes. I think Felix, I honestly think Jinx will be new. I don't think she'll use a lot of Viper stuff. Genuinely. I think she'll be new. We'll see though, but I personally think they'll go more like her figure originally than they're going to do. Then they'll kit bash or what have you. I will see on that one. And then Felix, if I'm wrong, you can obviously rub that one in my face. That's totally fine. And I'll accept that one in the comments if you want to come back in the comments when Jinx gets revealed and be like, see, I told you she'd have Viper parts. But I think in general, I think they might go for a more Jinx style original look, personally. But yes. Oh, Jason, thank you. Bomb Strike is apparently named after Dwight's daughter, Alyssa. Blackout is named after his brother in real life. Thank you, Jason. I didn't know that. I've never even thought to look that up. But that's brilliant. Thank you, Jason. Todd, appreciate that. That's really cool to know. Naginata it's called, Jeremy. You've tried twice. You're not quite there. Yeah, make that note about Jinx, Felix. And like I said, I'm allowing you to rub that one in my face when it comes back and it's just a red repaint of Viper. Anyway, Jinx, yes. And I do kind of want the swords and the backpack. I think that would be, that would be perfect for me for Jinx. Personally, I would, Jinx as a figure, it's only going to be awesome. But the Naginata, the backpack with the Madame Two Swords, and then the spare head, the alternate head, and the blindfold, and that'd be plenty for Jinx for me. I'd be well into that. And it's in jest as well, Felix. But no, I totally, my feeling on that one is that I think it might be a lot of new parts. Right. Okay. Next up, then, Doc. Yes, Doc entering the lineup like an absolute king. And Doc, now this is going to be an interesting one, I think, because he is standard four-figure wave. He's in that wave with Jinx, with Night Creeper and Torch, who we'll get to in a second. I should have probably put Jinx next to where Beachhead is, and that would have made more sense. Um, and then maybe put Beachhead over to where Starduster is, because they're two. That would have made way more sense. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I know, yeah, absolutely. We have fun here, Felix. We do, mate. Do we want long hair or the movie hair for Jinx? Says Diana. Oh, that's a good point. How many heads are we going to need in this box? You see, I definitely love her Sunbow movie look. I thought that was really cool, and I don't know. I just look at when I think Jinx, I think if I just think of her saying that she's going to give everyone a knuckle massage. But anyway, that said, I think that either way, I'd be happy with that, like the kind of long ponytail kind of style. Also very cool. I imagine obviously with the hood up, that'll be an easy maneuver. But obviously hood down, you're right. It could be maybe all right. Maybe they do a Scarlet thing. Maybe they do a plug-in ponytail, so you can have sort of both options. Huh? 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 Yeah, Robert, she had long hair in the comic, and she had long hair in the 25th anniversary. So I say 25th anniversary. It's like it was more like the 28th anniversary at that point. You know what I mean, though. Did you already see the figure of one of this name's reveals? Which one, Mister? I haven't seen any of these figures. Let me have a look. No, I've seen none other than the ferret, which we've all kind of seen. I don't think. Oh, and obviously the eels and the snow serpent, but not the actual retro versions of them. I haven't seen any of these. None of them. None of them. Valor versus Venom Jinx had long hair. Thank you, Jeremy. I'm pretty sure she had a ponytail in the comic as well, for like when she's in that white gear, when she's in that like white gi sort of situation. More of a mullet in Marvel. IDW Gallant gave her the long hair. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought she had long hair in the comic, Diana. Yeah. Right. So I haven't seen it. So yeah, just to clarify, Mr. Pinsky, I've seen. Oh well, I tell a bit of a lie. We've all seen pre-production pieces for the Night Creeper, for Torch, for the Cobra Ferret Scout, and for Norgahide, which we'll actually come to in a little while. Yeah. So anyway, Doc. So Doc is one of the four-figure wave figures with Jinx, Night Creeper, and Torch. And Doc, oh man, I don't know like how much he's going to get, but I'm sure they'll load him up with accessories still. They still seem to be doing really well with that in some of the standard figure, retail wave figures. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for that one. I don't think he'll get a stretcher, but that would be amazing, wouldn't it, if he came with a stretcher? They may be saving that for some sort. They might have Lifeline kind of lined up for a deluxe in the future, and then I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see with that one. But Doc, excited for that one. Probably they'll go bare bones with it for the most part, but I imagine he'll get some sort of like Doc equipment, medical equipment and stuff like that. And I guess I'm guessing removable helmet, removable goggles, or shades, I should say. But yeah, I think yeah, stretcher goals, big time. Speaking of Sunbow Jinx, why can't we get a retro Flint in Toon colors? Well, Super 7 someone's already said that. Super 7 have done one. But yeah, in terms of classified, it might happen. We might get it in some sort of retro vibe at some point. Retaliation Jinx was a good figure, great scene in the movie. Yeah, actually, that was a really good figure, Retaliation Jinx. Kind of like a little bit helixy as well with the yellows too, right? Yeah, I really like that figure. And that mountain scene was actually probably one of the standout moments in GI Joe cinematic history, isn't it? Really, it was that mountain fight was really cool. Um, probably the only, yeah, probably the only decent thing we've had. Although that's not to say the animated movie. I love that movie to death. Half a stretch with Doc, half with Lifeline. That would be hilarious. They could give Doc 2 sticks with cloth for the stretcher, says Mark and Rosa Bowers. Yeah, they could do. You could, I mean, we could do that as, as a customizing little maneuver if we wanted to. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying he's not going to come with one. I'm just saying I don't expect it to happen. But again, I don't know. He might come with it. Imagine if he does come with a stretcher. That'd be sick, man. Be well into that. And then again, it might, that might be okay for a single carded standard retail wave figure. That might be okay to fit into the box with Doc and then maybe just a few other minimal accessories. So I think, yeah, it's a possibility, no doubt. No doubt. And Gridiron will do the stretcher if Hasbro doesn't, says Paul. Yes, absolutely correct on that one, mate. Shout out to Gridiron, who do amazing things. Wilfredo says, don't forget to ask everyone watching to like this video. You guys do my job for me. It's great. No, yeah, please give us a like. It would be amazing. Go, if you're not subscribed on YouTube as well, that would be great if you could sub to us. That'd be so awesome. Even if you're not watching on YouTube, if you could just run over there quickly, do a quick sub. It's all appreciated. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying the content so far. So that's Doc. We are 5 into a lot of figures. Let's get it moving. Retro Beach Head. Now, this is cool. I think all I know on this one is that he's getting a new secondary, a new head, and I don't know anything else other than that. So I just know new secondary and new head sculpt, I believe, on this one. That's all I know. That's not to say that he's not getting new other things. I imagine he'll come with more retro-like weapons and accessories. Even though the first one had some pretty good updates of that kind of those kind of vintage figures accessories, but I imagine they'll go a little bit further out with Beachhead on that one. But like I said, all we know on that one is new head, new secondary. And the funny thing with that is, again, there could be other new things. It could be a fully new figure. So that isn't what I know. I don't know that, but it's not to say that that isn't the case. So I'm just excited to see what they do with this one. Excited to see how they do it. And I love that first Beachhead. I am unapologetically a massive fan of that first Beachhead. I love the fact they threw in the beret as well, because again, it's a bit funny that it goes on top of his balaclava head. I get that's a bit funny, but it's nice that they threw it in there based on having the balaclava on the vintage figure in his little epaulette, whatever you want to call it, on his shoulder. So the fact that that's folded up and scrunched in there, which is what I used to do when I was a kid. I kid you not. My dad had mum and dad got me from Beckett's Army Surplus store in Norwich at the time, going back some years now. It was like an army shirt. There was a bunch of them, and I remember that there were a lot of German army shirts doing the rounds at that age, when I was that age as well, with the little German flag kind of emblazoned, kind of just a small little German flag, kind of what do you call it, patch on it, right? But anyway, I had a bunch of these surplus military shirts, one of them with the actual little shoulder things, and I would dress up like Beachhead. I'd have the ski mask balaclava would go on, and my dad's my dad also bought me a parachute regiment beret, which I still have to this day. Gonna have to dig that one out when I go home just to show it to everyone, with the parachute regiment broke, kind of the pin on it as well, like proper old school. And he would make me put it on and kind of mold it into the right shape, put it on properly, with the the pin above the left eye a certain height and all that kind of stuff. Put it on properly because he was in the military. And you'd wear it and you'd keep messing with it until it was perfectly till it fit your head properly. And yeah, every day I would be put the ski mask on, and I would scrunch the beret just like Beachhead did, and I would stick it in the shoulder thing, and I would do that all the time. That was kind of my that was my Beachhead cosplay when I was a kid. But no, I used to love that stuff. Anyway, so I was really happy when they not only kind of homaged it in the classified figure, but just went all out and said, "Here you go, stick it on his balaclava head," which I never did in my cosplaying time. I must admit, as a kid, did I use deodorant, Leon? Yes. So I wasn't. What do you call it when you? I wasn't doing a method. I wasn't going method. Just aesthetic. Do you think they will do a grey eye, blue eye variant with Retro Beachhead, the Cobra Brothers? I hope not, because it like I got really lucky with that variant, right? I don't even remember. I know Fred Axon and myself were it was during COVID as well, wasn't it? When Beachhead, the Cobra Island thing got kind of released into the wild. And Fred and I did a military operation where he did all of the targets near him and I did all the targets near me. And we kind of like tried to find like trying to find beachheads, couldn't find them for love nor money. And then I got into a target and they were like, "Oh yeah, we've got one, we'll go and grab it for you." They went in the back and they came back out and they said, we can't get it because it's not street dated yet. And I'm like, "No, it is. Trust me, it is." And they just wouldn't believe me. So I had to leave there like cap in hand. And Fred, the absolute star, I think he went to the same one I just found that beachhead at, right? So I found that, I messaged him, I told him about it, I told him where I was. He then punches it over there. He goes to that target, and then I get a message later saying, I think I got a different person and they got the beachhead for me. I got us one each. I'll bring it over." And I was like, "You absolute star." It was just so funny. We had to like do this whole ridiculous operation to get it. Because remember what it was like trying to get Target exclusives. I even posted a meme back in the day of, I think it was Kate and me in the Fast and the Furious car with Adam Riches hanging on the side, trying to trying to like we were trying to like rob that truck, and there were like classified figures flying all over the place. Oh yeah, and most importantly, we were avoiding COVID massively at that point. Future Fortress didn't get it at that point. I got it in, when did I get it? Like 2021 or 2022. We went a long time without getting it, and then it was like really out of bounds when we got it. But yeah, like I managed to go a long time without. Even though I was rushing around with Fred doing lunatic blooming missions trying to get Target exclusives from Target. And yes, RKW, back in the days when I could run as a kid, dressing up as Beachhead, me and my buddies, we would walk around Munsley. There was a barracks in Munsley, like a big, like old gun emplacement, huge concrete structure on the cliff. I lived right on the cliff. And we would go there, dress up in all our camo gear, toy guns, but they were all really realistic looking. None of them had red caps or red ends. They all just looked like real guns. And we would just go out there and have an absolute blast and pretend to be G.I. Joes and Action Force and all that kind of good stuff. And it was absolutely amazing. And I remember there was a couple that lived on our street who, they were a young couple at the time, but then I ended up, obviously when I grew up got a bit older, they ended up being friendly with the family. And I remember one day, one of the guy in the couple said, "I remember when you were a kid and you would walk past our house dressed up in all your army gear with," and I was like, "Oh my God, man, that's crazy." So it's funny how that stuff, like, again, small world comes kind of like circling background and all that kind of stuff. It was really funny. Anyway, could Retro Major Blood, Stanley says, could Retro Major Blood be further along due to him being replaced by the CG in the last wave? Yes, Stanley. Or they might have just gone, we're not going to bother with it. I don't know. They'll probably, it depends, because obviously it looks like there's been a sea change in what they're doing with Retro. Like Duke and Scarlet, like almost completely brand new. They may even actually be all brand new. And then what's the other one? Recondo being like the standard deco version of the Tiger Force version. Maybe that's how they do repaints pre-paints going forward. Maybe that's how they do. They'll throw new tooling into Retro, and they'll throw so that kind of like makes it way more interesting to actually buy them. Because I struggled to get excited, honestly, with a lot of the retro figures, other than the ones that really stand out, like Gung Ho, Snake Eyes, and Lady J to a degree, because I really loved the retro accessories she was given. Man, I am taking my time tonight, aren't I? Um, Tristan said I spent more on getting those Target exclusive figures from Americans than I'd have preferred. So did I, and I was living here. Hope he's a bit taller. Current Beachhead is a little underscaled. Interestingly, and I never really thought about it. And I have them on display a lot. I'm doing my entire classified display soon as well. As soon as I get off this as soon as I get off this Zoom meeting, I'm gonna literally put up all my classified figures in the you can't see it because I showed you earlier, but you know what I'm talking about. A little display shelf in behind me. Anyway, I had no idea the red on Beachhead was a scrunched beret. Studio Henge Kenton says, "Yeah, I again like that's what it was, and it blew me away." I get lucky with Cobra Island Wave. The sister of one of my friends was working at Target. She got me the whole wave with employee discount. Mr. Popinski, that is awesome. They need to change the classified after Major Blood, everything in retro except Shooter, Female Troopers, and Helix. Okay. Right, let's move on then. We've done retro Beachhead. Let's talk Night Creeper. And of course, when talking Night Creeper, we'll isolate Night Creeper here because we have got a few things to look at, obviously, don't we, that popped up in pre-production circles not too long ago. Boom. So what is interesting about this, obviously, the head on the left looks sensational. They both look sensational. I love everything they've done with both of these version 1 and version 2 heads. What we don't know is if there's a version 2 coming as well, or if there's going to be a head in with this version 1 Night Creeper, or vice versa. We don't know. We know it's the version 1 Night Creeper. We just don't know if we're going to get the version 2 head included, or if we're going to get a version 2 Night Creeper. I hope we get a version 2 Night Creeper as well, because I think it would be doing the figure a little injustice if it was just a head in a box alternate style with a Night Creeper. It kind of depends how it's done, really, in my opinion. If they do it the same kind of deco as the Night Creeper standard, that might be kind of cool. You might be able to do like, oh, here's a Night Creeper leader and here's a night, sort of like to differentiate it, or a Night Creeper infantry squad leader to be really hilarious with it. But yeah, like something like that would be kind of cool. But I don't know if that's the case, and we'll just have to wait to see on this one. But the head, if we're focusing on version 1, if we're focusing on version 1 as a head for the Night Creeper, you got me. It's beautiful. And I'm assuming it's going to be like a hood piece, and then the head and the goggly bit goes inside the hood piece, much in the same way that we've seen with Storm Shadows and ninjas and all sorts of stuff. But really excited for this one. I can't even believe that we're getting Night Creepers finally. Like, I feel like it's been one of those things where it was almost like, well, we're getting the kids 6-inch, not Snake Eyes movie Origins, G.I. Joe Origins Night Creeper. And then that figure's like, it's all right, but it's certainly nowhere near, what you need it to be for a classified figure. Of course it isn't. But like, and the fact there was no deco on the pants was kind of a bit of an annoyance as well. Because the camo on the pants is like part of its iconic look. So yeah, I'm going to say I'm just super excited to be getting this in classified and can't wait to see it. And if we get a V2 head thrown in there, bonus. But if we are getting V2s too, amazing. Yeah, because a teal helmet on the original body would be weird, Ed. So I think it would have to either follow the same deco as the version 1, or like we're talking something, we are talking like another figure is being done. Yes, Super Saiyan, the V2 colors are gorgeous. Teal and pink, baby. That's what you want in your ninjas, your stealthy ninjas. I actually really like the deco in the comic. They look really good in the comics. They're kind of like a darker pink and a darker teal, but they just look so good. Especially with the cape. I want the cape, Harrison says 2-pack. Oh, 2-pack, that would be wicked. That would be wicked. genuinely. Oh yeah, Felix, the Sideshow Beach. I have that as well. It's an absolute beauty, that isn't it, with the real like, grimacy face. Yeah, that's really really cool. Anyway, yes, okay. Night Creeper. That's Night Creeper kind of covered, and I'm very excited for Night Creepers. Just love I love the thought of them. Like I've said this before on shows. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself a little bit, but the idea of a tech ninja clan that sort of like they operate in the dark. Like now, they operate in the dark web. They had a contract with Cobra Commander in the past. Everything was like very secretive. Very there's only one way to contact them, all that kind of stuff. And they worked to contracts and the highest bidder and all that kind of stuff, right? But they had this tech aspect. So like you got this feeling that their visors have like some sort of like heads up displays, and that like like the bow and arrows they use have cameras on them, and like detect just awesome cool stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see what they do with it. Are we going to get like little tablets with them? Are they going to do like techie weapons? Are we going to get something that really kind of goes that really kind of highlights that tech background? And then like when I think about it in the future, or like now, in the current era, I kind of like the thought of them operating on the dark web and like only using cryptocurrency to get paid, and just all that kind of dumb computer stuff that like works for a tech ninja clan. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's so awesome, and I'm really excited to see what they do on there. um Chris, there's a prototype head that was leaked a few time ago and wasn't revealed on figure yet. I want the pic. I don't know what you mean, because we're looking at the only images I'm aware of, Mr. Popinski, and I think do you mean that they put it on another figure? I think they did, but I don't think it was the actual figure they used it on. I think they just popped it on a body to make it like to show you what it kind of looked like. He'll come with a Commodore Amiga, Leon. That's amazing. He'll come with an Atari blooming ST, or like some like real old school, like a BBC, like one of those like tape deck game kind of cartridge situations, like an audio cassette tape kind of job. Oh man, I used to love playing, what was it, Football Manager with my dad on our tape deck computer that we had. What else did we have on? Oh, Riddle of the Sphinx. Did you guys ever watch that? Did you ever watch that? Sorry, watch that. Play that. Sorry, not watch it. Riddle of the Sphinx. It was a kind of like a text-based, like a find your own adventure, or create your own adventure sort of game. It was amazing. If you have played it, let me know. But yeah, I used to play Football Manager and Riddle of the Sphinx with my dad when my mum was working nights. Mum would be working nights. I'd be really, yeah. Send it to me, Mr. Popinski, the picture that you're talking about, and I'll see if I've seen it before or know what you're talking about. The Yeah, so mum would be working nights when she was working at I can't remember. It was in Coltishall at the time. We were in Munsley, living in Munsley, but she was working in Coltishall, and so she was out there doing some sort of night shift, and Dad and I would stay up all night watching like the Doomsday Book TV show. What was the other stuff we'd watch? And just stuff like that, and then like play games all night. I'd be asleep by like blooming, I'd think it was really late, but no, I'd be well asleep. And yeah, we'd be playing like Football Manager, trying to get like Manchester United to win things, which I kind of wish they do now. Um, did you? Yeah, send it to me, Mr. Popinski. Have you sent it to me? Because I haven't seen anything come through yet. Anyway, that is a Night Creeper. Let's move on to Torch. So the reason I've highlighted Torch on this one is because we also have an image of a pre-production head for Torch, and there it is. Again, like, it's a beauty. It's one you'd kind of expect them to do the way they've done it. You kind of got the curtains, the headband, the glass, the kind of shades, and of course the mutton chops that turn into like a no chin beard, but like he's got hair everywhere else. But anyway, yes, I kind of expected it to look like this, but I'm really happy with how he's looking. We don't know if, obviously, well, we can't be 100% sure that we're looking at the final final tool or whatever we're looking at here. But it wouldn't surprise me if he has molded on glasses. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Um, but it also wouldn't surprise me if he has removable glasses as well. But there you go. And kind of, yeah, I'm not too fussed with the non-removable glasses because I know people have had issues with with Buzzer and Ripper, and I still have issues with Cobra Island Roadblock. But one of them, because one of them had slightly shorter glasses, the like glasses arms than the other one, and you just have to kind of put it in there and just hope for the best. You can't move him, otherwise they just fall straight off. But the other ones seem to be fine. Like they're the much longer um, glass stems. I don't know what you call them. Anyway, let's continue. So yes, Torch. That's going to complete the. I don't think it is Alpine Leon. I believe it is. Who was it? Falcon. I believe it's a Falcon figure. I don't. Yeah, a lot of people keep saying we talked about this at the time, and I believe that no, it's not Alpine. I believe it is a Falcon, Marvel Legends Falcon head. That was confirmed, I think, early on when that image first kind of showed up. But if it is, great. I mean, we're going to see Alpine soon anyway, I guess. But I imagine he'll have removable goggles and not those kind of like again like Falcon has that kind of built-in sort of situation. No, it's not Doc. Right then. I hope Torch has bebop shades. Says yeah, exactly, big time. That'd be actually really cool. With like the kind of phasing going from color down, like color phasing. Yeah, big time. Right. Anyway, yes, Leon. I believe it is from one of the movie waves. That was what was. I believe that's what was confirmed early on when that image first kind of broke and kind of appeared. I think a few people were kind of claiming it was Alpine or Doc, but yeah, I don't believe it is. No, Eben, no. We're going to get to that in a little while, though. Bear with me. We're going to get to that particular thing that you've mentioned there. Commander Repaint has finally arrived. Hello. Right. Okay. So let's move on then. So that's Torch completes the original Three Stooges, and I'm excited, honestly, to see them all completed, to see them all together. Right. Next up, we have the Cobra Ferret. This is an interesting one because we got this as a name drop, and then it was kind of like sneakily kind of put out there in promo images, in box art, in all sorts of stuff. And this is probably the best view of the Cobra Ferret and Cobra Ferret Scout. So there we have the Cobra Ferret Scout and the Cobra Ferret on the left as it appears on the Vamp box art, the box render artwork. And on the right hand, on the middle and the right hand side, we have different versions of the Cobra Ferret Scout helmet. We have in the middle, obviously, that's from the promo image where Clutch is doing some like messed up, like he's just killed them and he's burying them. It's harsh, but he's doing something. He's burying that helmet, basically. Burying the helmet, Kitty said. And then on the right hand side, you've got more pre-production versions of them in different like plastic kind of colors. And the one on the top is obviously missing the piece that locks into the top. As you can see, it's two different pieces, and that kind of like almost like snake-like what do you call it? The snake-like visor is a separate piece that locks into that little segment in the middle of the one on the top there. But there you go. That is your Cobra Ferret. And yeah, and again, we can kind of you can kind of like already see what this vehicle is going to look like. There's another image which I didn't put in here, but it's like in a promo shot. It's in the distance, but it's like less obvious than the one we're looking at right now. So I didn't really think it was much point putting it in there as well. But at least we have, we've got that as well going on. So that's really fun and really cool. And Chris, I just sent the prototype pic I was talking about. Brilliant. I'll have a look now. Where did you send it? By the way, oh no, I found it. Sorry, I get notifications. Oh yeah, no, that image you're talking about is yeah, that image you're talking about is what was it now? I've completely forgotten what it was. It was these Cobra Trooper heads that popped up basically, but it was like they're not. It wasn't what you think. Yeah, they're not new. If you know what I mean. There was something to do with like I can't remember what it was now. I even put it in the comments when someone posted it in one of the links, and I can't remember what the heck that was all about. But effectively, yeah, it is nothing new. It was just some Cobra Troop heads, basically. But yeah, I'm so sad. I snigger at Chris's double entendres all the time. Thank you, Simon. At least there's one of us that does that. Yes, I think it is a female figure. I'm fully expecting Cobra Scout to be a Valkyrie sort of vibe with a new secondary helmet and stuff like that. I imagine they might utilize the Valkyries in this one a little bit. But yeah, that is that. I mean, there's not much else to really say here. It's probably going to come. It's probably going to come sooner rather than later. I think the SMS with Techno Viper's got to be around the corner soon, but we'll get to that in a second. I've already hit an hour and we're still talking name only reveals. My apologies. Next up is Norgahide and Boar. So Norgahide, we have had again. There's a reason I've highlighted him. It's because we have pre-production stuff, and of course his appearance in the background of Metalhead's artwork, and I can confirm that is Norgahide in the background 100%. A lot of people saying it's Buzzer, he's got a chainsaw. No, it's not. It's 100% Norgahide, and that is his hat in his hand that he's holding up in the air. So there you go. Yeah, so that is on the Metalhead box render. So again, they're hinting nicely that some characters are coming. And then lo and behold, we get some pre-production pieces pop up. Again, Norgahide's hat and head sculpt. And I'm completely down for both of these. I think they're both phenomenal. The scars on the head, as if he's been scratched by some sort of big game, is just amazing. A great touch. And I know they do a lot of scars in Classified, but I think when it's done in a certain way, it's like I like what they've done here. Scrap iron. That is one hell of a burn on his face, but it's like just really interesting. Makes him look cooler, and like there's just a lot going on there. It got a bit ridiculous a little bit at the time when it was like, Duke had one, Flint had one, Timber had one. It's like, has everyone got scars? But it was I like when we get this one, and I think when we get the deco on there, everything, I think that scar is going to look amazing, or 3 scars is going to look amazing. Like, and it might be more, it might be 4, and we just can't see another part of it. But yeah, a couple of people said it looked a bit like a bad comb over. But yeah, I think once you see it decoed, I think you'll have a different opinion on that one. Yes. Yeah, they were just Cobra Troopers, Mr. Popinski, basically the ones that you sent me, just to kind of double check that you were listening at that point. But yes, they're just Cobra Troopers. Now, what else are we saying? Don't apologize for talking Joes. I won't, Derek. I mean, I do, but I love the claw scar on his noggin. Great detail, says Ray. Absolutely, just amazing. I hope that we get a lot of deco detail as well, like the kind of animal print on the hat band, where the little teeth are that go around the little, the little kind of like almost like what are they, claws? They'd be claws. Maybe teeth. Are they teeth or claws? Both that go around the hat. I'd just love it if they do the animal print on there too. Anyway, ironically, we don't have Scarface. Very true, Leon. Speaking of scars, says Joshua, I'd love to get a classified cesspool. 100%. Joshua, 100%. Okay, cool. So really second head have some goggles on. Yeah, it's just Cobra. They're just basically Cobra Troopers. But I don't remember the detail. I don't remember the information. There's a bit of information I'm missing. It's just not it's nothing new, is what I'm saying. It's not something that's coming through as a pre-pro piece that's kind of like hinting at something in the future. Mick Dundee is a Joe, Simon. Yeah, basically. That ain't a knife. Yes, it is. It is a knife. It's 100% a knife. Right. Next up then, coming back, and we'll get through the last few. So that little section of 4 in the middle had some pre-pro. The rest don't, or yet anyway, that I'm aware of. So retro eels, retro snow serpent. Kind of talk about these. The site yes, unused probably, Mr. Popinski. Yes. Retro Eels and Retro Snow Serpent, we'll kind of lump them together and talk about them kind of a similar way because it's probably going to be a similar thing here. I think Eels, though, up inside you, I think Eels are probably more of a you didn't get the opportunity to buy this because some people bought 40 of them originally. So if you had trouble getting Eels before, here's another opportunity to get them. So it might just be a kind of straight up reissue. Might be. They might do more retro inspired, vintage inspired accessories, but that figure is pretty much fine as a not fine, that's not the wrong word. It's pretty much perfect as a retro as well. So I don't really see the point of them doing crazy things to this. If they do a redeco, if it's significant or if it's like slight, I can probably see with that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to just say this one might be a reissue job, but at the same time, they might make some changes to it to make it worth getting again. I don't know. Yeah. So and then with retro. Sorry, I'm trying to read comments at the same time. I'm so bad at that, aren't I? You know when I'm reading comments because I just go quiet for a few seconds. It's ridiculous. Retro Snow Serpent. Now that one, I would imagine a deco change, and obviously let's minimize some of the accessories from that deluxe offering, and that way you've got like the opportunity then to army build snow serpents to your heart's delight, and then have your deluxe snow serpent, which acts as sort of like a head honcho to the snow serpents. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody was going to be army building snow serpent deluxes. I just don't think anybody would have done that. Some people might have done. I'm not saying, but I'm saying like as a general term, I don't think it was one of those things people were like, yeah, let's get 4 of these because you knew they were doing snow serpents down the line at some point again to make it, regular. Eben says, "Hey Chris, many different YouTube channels did end of the year toy reviews for 2023, and it was really nice to see so many pick G.I. Joe Classified as the top dog. Classified has just been so fantastic. We've been really spoiled, I think, but also it's been difficult because we've been bombarded at times. It's been as collectors, I know it's like you're fighting sometimes that urge to get every single thing. And I know some, me included, I know a lot of people that just basically had to back away a little bit from a lot of it and just focus on one thing. And even focusing just on classified has been difficult. Like we've had to like stop everything at this point with the house buying and all that kind of stuff, right? But getting back into the kind of the swing of things again, and it's just like, damn, there's still like loads and loads and loads of stuff to be getting involved with. But yeah, the fact that it was so well received, for the most part, is great. It's absolutely great. And I'm happy that it's really like driving the brand and allowing us to have O-ring at Super 7 and Ultimates at Super 7, and it's allowing us to have just more things all the time, all over the place. Like the name is everywhere again, and that's great. That's what we want. We want it to be really successful. Who else thinks that we should get Raven with the HasLab Rattler? Yes, Ben. If we're getting a HasLab Rattler, that would be amazing. I would love a Retro Stalker and Retro Major Blood, says David. You know what? I would too, actually. Retro Stalker would be fun because you could get like the deco on there. You wouldn't need a lot of stuff, honestly, because effectively he's there already with a lot of his gear. But I'd be up for the deco. That would be so cool to get like a Retro Stalker. I use my Snow Serpent goggles on low light and repainted. Looks much better. That's interesting, Leon. That's really interesting. Oh, is That's Not a Knife scene cut on UK TV, Simon? I didn't know that. That ain't a knife. I know. I remember there was a little jump cut at one point on UK TV, but I remember them saying the line. Anyway, there's loads of stuff like that. I remember the UK TV version of RoboCop was the one I saw as like when I was younger. I shouldn't have seen it, but I did. And for years and years and years, I went along thinking that was the movie, but the cut out that hideous scene where he's getting shot up at the beginning, which is harrowing. Actually, I'm glad I didn't see that as a kid. Honestly, I think the UK did me a favor there because that scene when he's getting shot by everybody and like the arm and the hand and oh my god, hideous. Anyway, I love RoboCop. It's an amazing movie, but like that scene was edited dramatically. You still get him shot. You still see him getting shot. But you don't see all the other. You don't see the details that you see in that scene. The other stuff that was cut in there was really interesting, like the oh god, what's the other thing that's cut out? Oh, the toxic waste scene where Thingy crashes into the toxic waste drum, comes out of the back of the truck, and he's all melting. They cut almost all of that out until he gets run over. So you don't see a lot. I didn't see a lot of that as a kid, and and you only see him get hit by the, goes all over the windscreen and everything. But like, yeah, there was so much was cut out of that, and I'm kind of glad that. And so I was in my 20s, like late 20s, I think, when I saw RoboCop proper, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell is this? Like, I didn't even recall. It was like it was a bit of a shock, and I'd watched RoboCop a lot in that time period, but that's the only cut I'd ever seen. Amazing. Yeah, so some people did get 4. Future Fortress Max has got 4 snow serpents. That's ridiculous. Chris, who are you most excited about of all? Well, I'll answer that question actually. Let's finish this out. So, Retro Eels, Retro Snow Serpent. That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing Real Eels is a bit of a refresh, and Snow Serpents are going to give us the opportunity to army build a figure that we couldn't really do so previously. So they'll get rid of some of the extra stuff, and it'll probably be like a basic figure with the redeco of the blue and maybe that off-white color, like that grey color almost on the body, because I think that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Actually, I'd be really into a Snow Serpent like that, because that's how I remember it, honestly. So yes, okay, that's them done. Iron Grenadiers. This is an interesting one as well. I think this is going to have, obviously, it's going to need a lot of new parts, new tooling, and all that kind of good stuff. But I think this one's going to be pretty on point. We do know it's a standard figure, 4-figure wave standard retail figure, so we know it's not going to be like deluxe or crazy heavy on accessories. So I imagine all of the things you come to know with the Iron Grenadier standard figure, the helmet, the face mask, and everything. I don't know if they're going to do anything fancy with that, or if it's just going to be a head sculpt. Probably just a head sculpt. I don't know. Do you need to have an exposed balaclava head underneath? Maybe they could do that. I don't know. But then I don't necessarily need that personally. Maybe a removable helmet, so you got like a round head and then the masks on him. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they come up with. But I don't think they need to go crazy with loads of detailed elements that work as a helmet there. Secondary, obviously, that goes over him. I imagine that to be part of it. And then the sword would be great. And if that could hook onto the belt on like a little bit of rope as well, that would be phenomenal. And what else can we have on there? The red like laser pistol thing, I get they'll do that, and then he has the other gun as well, doesn't he? So it's not like a massive amount of stuff. Did he have a knife too? I've completely forgotten what comes with that figure. But anyway, Iron Grenadiers, I'm actually doing that video at the moment. I might change tack and start doing them live because it's easier for me. It's less editing, and I can kind of talk through the history with you guys, and we can have fun with it. And we might do that instead because that's more fun, I think. Let's talk classified Iron Grenadiers later, shall we? And we get into more detail that way as well. It's way more fun. Okay, Iron Grenadiers, we'll do that live, and we'll do no, I've done Raptor already. We'll do Nemesis Immortals and Leatherneck and Starduster as well. I've got those to do. I'll do all those like live. Anyway, Raptor, very excited about Raptor. We know he's a deluxe, but I think it's what would it be, the standard deluxe, if that makes sense. So a 34.99 figure. I imagine he's going to come with some elaborate gear. I'd love those like super futuristic kind of wings like they did with the ghillie suit from the Jungle Viper in the modern 4-inch for the club. I think that would be so dope. And like the head dress is going to be really awesome. That's gonna slap. When like I just think of that 4-inch figure from the club, and I just go absolutely crazy at how cool this classified version could be. I think they'll do a red whistle. They'll just get Sarge's whistle and they'll do a red one for him. Red one. And then the boots with the little claws, yeah. And then of course animal companions. I think maybe multiple birds could be on the cards, because obviously Spirit and Freedom, it makes sense having one because it's literally one animal companion. But with Raptor, he commands multiples. So I wonder if they'll do like 2 or 3 or something of that kind of size of Freedom, and that's why it's on a bit of a bigger deluxe sort of offering. I'd love it if they had the stand as well, for like a staff that could, also double as a stand that the birds could sit on, and then also they could have the hoods on as well. That'd be really cool. I'd be well into that. I'd be well into that. I just hope they kind of update the leg articulation and it's not the same kind of vibe that we had with Freedom, because I feel like it's a little bit clunky what they did with Freedom. His legs look a little play school to me. But anyway, that's what I'm excited for with Raptor. I'm going to come back to this. How do I hide? I'm going to do that. I'm starring that comment, Paisano, because I'll come back to it later. Do we know if Norgahide's boar ever having an official name? Danny, yes. So this is the story. It has an official name now, sort of, in Clyde, but it was weird. It was like basically the name came about thanks to a wiki post, a wiki page, like inclusion, and then everything seems to follow that. Like everyone that's like, because Clyde obviously was the name given to Norgahide when they had issues using Norgahide. They didn't want to get in any trouble with the American brand name, Norgahide, which is spelt differently, but obviously, they didn't want any trouble. So with that, they changed his name for a 7-pack in, like, again, modern 4-inch line to Clyde Norhide. And then that Clyde element seemed to be utilized in a wiki page kind of description, which was then used for like battlegrounds and some other stuff that was utilized. I can't remember there's a whole like historically like thing about it. Go and watch my Let's Talk Classified Norgahide video, Danny, and it'll explain everything in much better ways than I'm doing right now. But effectively it came after the fact, and then it appeared in 3 official places, and all of a sudden it's an official name for him. I don't know if he'll be Clyde in the Classified series, but I kind of hope he's given a name. He's gonna come with the boar. There's no doubt about that. But anyway, with that said, yeah, Clyde was used in the official places were 2 Battlegrounds cards and the Tom Scioli Transformers G.I. Joe comic as well, and then it's probably appeared in something else too, which I forget. But those were the official name uses of Clyde as the boar's name. But he never had a name originally. G.I. Joe defined the action figure. Not sure people are surprised the classified line is so good, says Scott. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just developed and evolved, and we're here now, aren't we, with the 6-inch line that everyone is loving. I kind of feel like it's got that thing as well. As you're a kid, you have you have the figure in hand. It feels a certain way. As you get older and you grow older and bigger, that figure doesn't grow with you. So the feeling has definitely changed a bit. Like now you hold the 6-inch figure, that kind of gives me that same feeling I had as a kid, because you've kind of almost grown up with the scales almost in a weird way. Even though we started with 12-inch as well, like, well, hey. But yeah, Wraith would be a cool figure, Wade. Yes. Am I the only one that wants Payload? No, Sucker. Everyone, I would love Payload. Maybe you're remembering the Simpsons version of "That's not a knife." Yeah, that's not a knife. It's a spoon. I see you've played Knifey Spoony before. I love that scene, by the way. UK Robocop is hilarious. The dubs of dialogue are brilliant. The MF speech for Snakes on a Plane is still the best redub. Leon, watch the made-for-TV Die Hard with a Vengeance. They say, I want to say it's, what is it, something Falcon, they say, for the MF word. It's something like, not Maltese Falcon, but they say something like that. Something Falcon. It's hilarious. They did look a bit dreadnocky, didn't they, in Robocop? I got 3 Snow Serpents, says Derek. My goodness. Extended cut is even more mega violent. I've seen that since diecasting. In fact, that was the one I watched for the first time. It was the extended cut. Studio Henge Kenton, that toxic waste scene haunted me as a kid. I always thought about what I would do if my brother came stumbling towards me, all melting, pleading for help. God, that's dark, isn't it? And it's so true. Um, oh, yes, Ray Murphy. UK dubbing was hilarious. We got UK channels here in Ireland. Yippee-ki-yay, mother lover. Die Hard with a Vengeance, though. Check that one out. They say something Falcon. It's amazing. Um, Dark Lawn. Da, da, da. Sorry, I'm going to have to catch up with the comments now, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry if I missed a bunch. Repeat it again if you want me to say it. Like, if I'll get there. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna answer this question by Paisano777 right now. Chris, who are you most excited about of all these name only reveals on the screen? Let me answer that question. It's probably between, and this is going to spoil my TikTok video that I've got coming up soon. It's going to be between Night Creeper, Raptor, Night Creeper, Raptor, and probably Starduster. Like that, I know that's that. Yeah, yeah. I think that's it. I think that's what I'm excited for. Night Creeper for me, actually. Let's say the one I'm most excited about is Night Creeper. I think because I'm such a Night Creeper simp. Like it's not even funny. Like I love Night Creepers. I love the idea of Night Creepers. Thank you, by the way, Paisano, for that question. But I think, yeah, like I think that's the one I'm most. My berries are buzzing crazy. Mr. Falcon. Thank you, Ryan. It is Mr. Falcon. Yes. Thank you. Anyway, just it made me laugh when I heard that the first time. I was like, huh? Anyway, right. So what are we up to now? Raptor. We've done Raptor. I wonder if they're going to do something crazy with him because he's exposed chest, right? I wonder if he gets some tattoos. I wonder if he gets some like bird-like tattoos on him. I'd give him a big bird tattoo on his back that gets hidden by the cape and stuff, so that or the cape, the wings, so you don't necessarily see it. And then when you turn the figure around, he's got this huge tattoo of like an eagle or something. There's something like not an eagle, but like a falcon or a raptor. Something crazy like that would be brilliant. Some really elaborate tattoo would be amazing, and I'd be all over him for it. But yeah, like the eye paint as well, very Zartan-esque. I'm very excited for that too. Okay. Oh, okay. Chris, what's your guess on number of vehicles we can see before end of year? Jeez, Johnny. Well, there's a big. Obviously, we've seen what leaks for. Can I answer that at the end? Let me answer that at the end. I'll star you now, Johnny, and we'll answer that one later. Right, Nemesis Immortal, deluxe figure, going to be a big boy. I imagine probably the biggest in the line, and wings as well, massive bloody wings. Will he come with lots of other stuff? Will they have enough left? Big Bird, yes, Paul. Big Bird tattoo from Sesame Street on the back. Oh, now I want a Big Bird tattoo on the Raptor's back. Now that's what I want. Or a tattoo of Lieutenant Falcon. That's even funnier, Benjamin. Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, Nemesis Immortal. Yeah, I imagine he's going to be a big chunky boy. He's going to have big wings. I don't know what the wings. I don't know how they're going to do that. If they're going to do like a closed one and an open one, or if it's going to be like actually workable. But they are quite biological, so maybe they'll have articulation though. Maybe they'll like swing on like a little like point of articulation out on the top of the points of like the bat wingy bit, because they do meet at a point, don't they, with like little claws sticking out. So I wonder if you could make like a little articulation point there where they could kind of fold, they could kind of like cross over each other almost like that. Do you know what I mean? Like as they come out, so you could have them like folded up, or you could have them like extended. I don't know. But that's definitely one for the engineers to work out, which I'm sure they've already done so. But yeah, Nemesis Immortal, big fan of the movie, big fan of Cobra La. Can't wait to see how that progresses. If we're doing Nemesis Immortal, Pythona, Globulus, Royal Guards can't be far away. And I'm gonna try and temper my expectations for that Whip Snakes 2-pack, because I don't think it's going to be Royal Guards, but my heart can dream a little bit. Anyway, that's it, right? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. There's one more to talk about, and that's the often forgotten, but not in our hearts, Xandar. Now, this one is where I think we're going to get some cool tattoo upgrades, because obviously he has those like really fun little zigzaggy kind of like lightning bolts in different colors on his chest, doesn't he? Now, That kind of stuff is pretty dope, but I think they might go a little bit crazy with it. Might do something more elaborate there. Obviously, the neckerchief, he's going to be topless, so they'll probably utilize the many bodies that we've had for topless figures so far. The shoulder pauldrons, I imagine, to be on there, attached to like nothing, probably just like around his bicep or something. And yeah, I expect him to have an awesome head sculpt, amazing orange hair, and like paint on his face as well, I think. But then, they could give him a really cool quiver backpack. He could also have that weapon with the kind of like the it's like a harpoon gun almost, isn't it? You could definitely have that in there. A little pistol in the secondary on his that goes around his on his chest and everything. And is there much else? I think that's pretty much it. He'd be a pretty simple one, I think, and that's one I would expect to be in like a single retail wave sort of release, definitely. But Pythona, it's got to happen. Emily loves her, so I'm pretty sure we're going to see her at some point. I just hope it's sooner rather than later. I hope it comes in and around Nemesis Immortal. Kitty said, it'd be amazing. And I think with Pythona, that's one you could do with all the Cobra La stuff. Nemesis Immortal, I feel, is way more like he's all about the arm blades, the kind of shoulder blade things, which I think are going to be like there's probably going to be like two different attachments you can have, like a extended and retracted. I don't think it's going to be a retractable blade. As much as I think that is cool, I don't think it would actually happen. But yeah, I think like he's kind of known for the wings and those, right? Not really much else. Even in the 3-pack figure set, those like kind of like snakes, kind of like tentacle things were really, I think Pat had that right. I think that was supposed to be for like you'd stick it on the back of a Joe and you'd wrap it round the figure as if it was like being captured, used as almost like a Cobra La kind of weapon like that. And that they changed the tack on it because it was too much to put like the metal bendy stuff inside. So that's probably what I think was happening with the original 3-pack. But they could definitely do some crazy stuff with Nemesis Immortal, and then reuse some of those items for Pythona. It doesn't hurt having multiple Cobra La, squidgy face huggers, tapeworm clamshells, sticky clam BET. I'm just kidding. Was pufferfish grenades, 4-headed electricity snake. There's so many cool things you could throw in for Cobra La weapons, man. It would be amazing. But anyway, yeah, Xandar, as I was talking about, I don't think he'll be skin change in the same way that Zartan, the SECC one was, or whatever that was, well, the exclusive one. Mainly because Zarana wasn't either. So yeah. Anyway, I can't believe it's taken me this long to talk about all of the name only reveals, but my god, there's a lot of them. So that's why. Was it 16? 16 name only reveals we haven't seen hide nor hair of in an official capacity since they were dropped. So let's talk digital renders next. Yes, so this is what we can look forward to specifically that we know are coming in a digital render capacity that we haven't seen in, yes, Sticky Clams, Leon, that we haven't seen in reality yet. I haven't, obviously Wild Bill isn't on here because Wild Bill, we've seen that figure like multiple times in multiple different levels of reality, whereas Nightforce, Ripcord, Glenda and Crazy Legs we have not. We haven't even seen an updated render for Crazy Legs, which you never know, could happen pretty soon. It looks like they're ramping up for an event, doesn't it? The way that you kind of, when you can see the clues as they're popping around, like Emily going into the archives and posting the video games and stuff that she was finding, which looked a little bit like set dressing to me. Other things as well, like GI Joe Day around the corner, February the 1st, stuff like that. The fact that we always have to have an early in the year live event for classified, we have precedent for it. So with that said, SMS with Techno Viper, I think, is we're gonna have to see something along those lines very soon. Do I think we'll see general releases for Ripcord and Wild Bill, Jason? Yes, I do. Ripcord, yeah, 100%. Wild Bill, that's a good question, actually. I could see them doing a Tiger Force Wild Bill so that you could kind of like have it as a single figure in like like a Target exclusive, and then you could just use them for the Dragonfly, even though it's not a Tigerfly, I know, but I could see them doing something like that. Um, but yeah, I would say yes on Ripcord. Oh, 100% Ripcord. 100%. Let's not go down the no, this wasn't you, Jason, but I had so many people commenting about Recondo and he was never coming. And I'm like, he is coming. Trust me. We're getting regular Recondo. And there was such an angst about it. Like it wasn't happening. We hadn't seen it for a long time, so it wasn't happening anymore. And I'm like, it's happening. Just be patient. So yeah, anyway, not having a go at you, Jason, at all. But yes, Night Force Ripcord, we're gonna get regular Ripcord. We're gonna get regular Crazy Legs. We've already gotten regular Glenda in Scala. Although you could say regular Glenda is closer to Quarrel, couldn't you, with the hair and everything? So anyway, um, yeah, you could still do a classified wild bill as a HasLab one, as the HasLab one is quite retro. Yes, yes. I think we'll probably see. I don't know how you'd see Wild Bill different though, if is what I'm getting at. And the only difference I could really see them doing is maybe doing a Tiger Force version in an homage to his, Tiger Force figure. So yeah, I'm gonna say I don't know about Wild Bill, but definitely on Ripcord because effectively Wild Bill is the normal Wild Bill. Do you know what I mean? So it's like in terms, but I know you're talking about retail as opposed to me moaning about redecos. But yes, I would have to say 100% yes, we're getting Ripcord and Crazy Legs as their regulars, but I don't know about Wild Bill because we have him already. If you didn't go in on the Dragonfly, then you're not going to have him. But Sunbow Wild Bill actually doomed is not a bad shout. That is not a bad shout, actually. That is not a bad shout. There's a lifeline for you, Jason, not the figure. Sunbow Deco Wild Bill could certainly. Yes, Ryan as well said it too. Sorry, a few people said it. Um, Paul, I know, Classic Battles. Out of anyone, I should have been the angstiest about Recondo, but I was patient. Yes, I know you were, Paul, and it's funny because you also knew that we were getting it. So as in, it was so inevitable that it was happening. Um, will Classified ever do Sunbow? Says Leon. Have they? They don't really. I mean, yeah, Fudgy. They've done it with Quick Kick, so they've definitely utilized Sunbow elements in their line so far. That's just one example. I'm sure there's more, but there's one for you. And Sunbow Wild Bill for the 25th, Ryan. Yes, they did. So there you go. Maybe that's your opportunity, Jason, to get a Wild Bill in the future. But who knows? I don't know if they will or not. Coming back to the digital renders that we know about, SMS Techno Viper is the main one that's been hanging around since SDCC. It was revealed along with the Vamp, and the Vamp has been on pre-order for ages now, months now. So it's interesting that the SMS is kind of like lagging behind like a towable machine would. And I would say that it's very likely that the SMS and Techno Viper will be next up in the kind of reveal and pre-order event phase sort of thing. So expect that to be on the cards. Now, in terms of Ripcord, Glenda, and Crazy Legs, why I've put them in here is not in this. I haven't put these in here in the same way because we don't have to anticipate, like we're not anticipating like a reveal of them. They'll come out when they come out. Like they'll be done and we'll get them with the box with the Dragonfly in and everything. They might do a few updates like Instagram. Like, yeah, that's a lie. Yeah, of course they will. They'll do Instagram updates when we get figures of those particular characters. It'll be like, oh, we've got a Night Force Ripcord figure and a Night Force Great. Yeah, they'll do that when it comes to updating updates for the Dragonfly HasLab. Of course they will. What am I talking about? So we will see that kind of stuff happen in periodically, but at the moment, it's kind of we know they're coming. We've already ordered them. They've already been unlocked. Everything is like check, check, check. It's just a matter of seeing them. Do you know what I'm saying? And with the SMS and Techno Viper, it's a matter of seeing it and pre-ordering it and going through that whole malarkey. So yeah, that is digital render section. But let's start with these awesome. I just wanted to show you this graphic I messed about with the other day. Yeah, I thought it was quite fancy. So yeah, Nightforce Ripcord on the left, Glenda in the middle, and Crazy Legs on the right. So we haven't seen. Someone did mention that someone did like a fan version of Crazy Legs render. Yeah, I saw someone do a Crazy Legs render and it looked great. I think I've seen that, Leon. And they did it with the grey in the kind of tan and the red, didn't they? Yeah, he looked amazing. I do like that guy's renders. He does a lot of them. Like, yeah, he does a lot of those kind of like classified render style pieces. And yeah, I do like the fact that he kind of mixes stuff up and adds some stuff of his own and uses heads. Yeah, it's dope. I really like his style. Is SMS going to have the tow for the hiss tank? Yes, yes, they will work together. Retro Destro and Crimson Guard are Sunbow inspired. I like that. Okay, yeah, I'll roll with that, Ryan. I thought it was more action figure inspired, the Crimson Guard. I thought they went more action figure red on the retro Crimson Guard than the because it's not Sunbow inspired Crimson Guards have blue in them and all sort. They've got like a blue trim and they've got some other stuff. So I don't think it's like 100% retro Sunbow inspired, but I like where you're coming from on that one. But I think the Crimson Guard is actually more inspired by the original toy than it is the Sunbow cartoon. I could be wrong. Yeah, they pull from all iterations. Yeah, they do say that, Hasbro, don't they? Okay. So yeah, I'm really excited for these three figures because again, we're in a position where yes, we've kind of seen them, but we haven't seen them. So, and all the gear they come with as well, like Ripcord comes with a ton of stuff. Glenda comes with a ton of stuff, including a harness for other people to be used on the Dragonfly, and loads of flash equipment as well, like the laser backpack and all that kind of jazz. So I'm really excited that Flash might be on the cards in the future, a bit of a pre-tool, pre-use sort of scenario. I love the fact that we got a different head sculpt with Scarlet, different hair pieces. I love the fact that Glenda has been done like this with the secondary and everything. I just love the fact that we've got differentiation between her and Retro Scarlet. But again, they keep that vibe of the original going with the homage of them being effectively a repaint of each other. Well, of Glenda being a repaint of Scarlet. So I'm stoked for a foreign inclusion. And I know people were kicking off about it. I still don't really understand why. I mean, there's so many figures. How can anybody care that something is coming out at the rate these figures come out with? There's something for everyone in every line. So I kind of feel like if you're complaining about stuff, it just kind of makes you come across a little bit entitled. That's not to say that you might not like something, right? That is different. If you don't like something, you don't like it. I'm not going to change your mind. Someone else isn't going to change your mind. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I get that. And I get you being like, I'm not really feeling that. But hell, I get Wild Bill, Ripcord, and Crazy Legs as well. And like, I'm hardly like fiending for action figures with this Dragonfly HasLab. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I think, yeah, like I think it's one of those things, isn't it? When you start complaining about, my diamond shoes are too tight and my 50s don't fit in my wallets, that kind of thing. But my 50s don't fit in my wallet and my diamond shoes are too tight is kind of that's what it sounds like when you complain about like, one single figure within a group of others and stuff like that. But I get it. I get that people would be upset in like a tier reveal because there's that kind of like the build up, the excitement, what could it be, expectation, and then bang, you get something that you don't necessarily expect or want. I get it. I get the reaction. But I think sometimes you have to kind of like almost step back from it a little bit and just go, well, there's another tier coming up. And we've got Ripcord and we've got Wild Bill, and this Dragonfly looks freaking amazing. So, like, there's a bit of not everything is going to be 100. Like, you're not going to be batting 100 on every single thing. There's always something. And I'm just happy that the brand is where it is at the moment. I'm just happy that GI Joe is a hot topic. I'm happy that Classified's doing really well still, even if it is a bit overwhelming at the moment. Like I'm just happy that that Classified is doing really well. For those that couldn't see it, I just showed a pile of Classified figures to my left. Anyway, and also, yeah, O-ring coming as well. O-ring line coming for Super 7. So like there's a lot to be kind of like there's just so much to be friggin' excited about. And like I said, if you're not into certain things, I totally get it. There's certain things I'm not into all the time. That's true. It doesn't sound like it, but for the most part, yeah, there are some. I mean, look, how many times have I talked about Falcon's head, Mr. Falcon? And we come full circle. Right. Retrocard CG had a silver grey mask and black visor the way it was coloured on the cartoon. Yeah, again, Ryan, it might be the case, yes, but if it's the same as the action figure, that's more of the homage. And like I said, the cartoon Crimson Guard had a lot more going on, including blue trim, which doesn't appear on that figure. So you can't really call it a Sunbow inspired. Can't be call it an Sunbow deco if it doesn't have the main thing that makes it Sunbow deco. Do you know what I mean? Like it is effectively the action figure, the original action figure, basically. This good question, Carl. Any word on that Paramount Plus show, or has that been shelved? Paramount Plus show. Are you referring to the Lady J series that was like ages ago, which was Skydance, Amazon, and something else? Because that was scrapped. That was scrapped a long time ago. What we're talking now is G.I. Joe and Transformer collaborative movie scenarios now. So G.I. Joe obviously appeared in what's it called in the last Rise of the Beast movie at the end. Spoiler alert. And the next Transformers movie is going to feature G.I. Joe. Well, according to them at the moment, in the Transformers movie they do next will feature, or what they said would feature G.I. Joe a little bit more. Not that it's not going to be a proper full-on crossover movie, but it will feature G.I. Joe a little bit more, and they're going to bring it in slowly and but surely, etc., etc. But yeah, in terms of a Paramount Plus TV show, no, there's been nothing with that scenario. Like I said, it was a Amazon Skydance Lady J series that was kind of following the Snake Eyes movie, but when that failed in the massive way that it did, that was shelved almost instantly. A few of us were kind of contemplating that how like scripts get shifted around. This is purely like a guess though. Did you see that Zoe Saldana TV show, which was amazing? Lioness, really good show. If you haven't seen it, check out Lioness. It's really good. One season at the moment, I think, and it's proper good military base kind of like show. And oh god, it's so good. And we were thinking, Justin and I were having a conversation. We were kind of thinking, I wonder if they were like, if that had been like the script had kind of shifted over, because it was. But the thing is, the way these things develop and work, they may have utilized aspects of it, but more than likely, Lioness was in development long before that was. So who knows? But it did feel kind of interesting that we had that news for the Lady J thing, and then what was it, like a year or so later? It was probably more than a year. It might have been 2 years later. Lioness comes out, and it's like, oh, intro. I wonder if that was like maybe a script got maneuvered and shifted, because that does happen every now and again. Within the movie kind of era, those things get moved around quite often. Chris, can you ask the Joe team if there will be a classified version of Recondo? I'm not falling for this again. Or do you mean like an updated version of Recondo? You'll have to be. I'm not sure if you've taken the Mickey there, mate, or not, because I know you have done that in the past, I think. Also, what would a Quick Kick retro card look like? Since Quick Kick is the most retro looking figure in the classified, I think so. Ray, I think Quick Kick retro card would look amazing. Again, you just strip it down to the bare bones, wouldn't you? You'd have one set of nunchucks, the backpack with the swords. Does he have those? I can't even remember what he comes with now. I can't remember what the actual figure comes with. This is the thing. I don't spend enough time looking at the stuff when it gets revealed. I just do these shows and then have to move on to the next thing. So it's like, I just forget. I just genuinely forget everything. everywhere all at once. I'm just going to quickly skim through to see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he does have the backpack and the swords. So I think he would, excuse me, he'd probably be effectively, it would look like that, wouldn't it? I think the retro figure. It would be obviously not with the sash on the wrong way around. I think that's the case. No, it's the right way around. So the sash, the backpack, the swords, one set of nunchucks, although that would be weird with the loops on the back. So maybe both sets of nunchucks. And that would be enough. One head, doesn't have to have two. Retro card him, put him on, getting that beautiful artwork on there. I'd be well into that, Ray. Well into it. Yeah, I worry the backdoor for movie G.I. Joe is hurt by the poor Rise of Beast box office, not to mention Snake Eyes Origins. Yes, Leon, I think that obviously is having an effect on why we're not seeing more information pouring out of that. The last movie news burst Justin and I did was about the concept art that popped up, which was actually really interesting. That was a lot of fun looking at that. And also kind of filled in a really weird bit of history as well for us. If you haven't seen that, go check out our movie news burst on the Snake Eyes concept art. You'll find it on our channel on YouTube. It's easy to find, and yeah, go watch that because it's really I thought it was really interesting that it kind of filled in a recent history gap of this thing that happened following the movie at a Brazilian Hasbro Brazil like expo kind of thing, or it wasn't an investor event. It was something else, but it was effectively Hasbro Brazil were there and they did a presentation. And that presentation had a stop motion comic-y sort of thing. And they were basically talking about an animated series that would feature Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. And they showed like artwork, concept artwork, but the concept artwork, like we never saw it. Then all of a sudden this concept art comes out and boom, it's the descriptions and everything is spot on. So it was really fun and interesting to kind of unlock that for us, for our OCDs, basically. But yes, Ray, I can ask those questions. Unless classified version of Recondo, do you mean like a Rise of Cobra style version? Because if that's what you mean, then fine. I'm not sure if you're just joking about me having a go at people. Ray Murphy says that ripcord figure sculpt and Halo jump rig is just perfect. So excited for this figure and the inevitable OG version. I agree, Ray. I'm really excited, honestly, for both Ripcord and Crazy Legs. I know deco-wise that's very similar, and I think that was because Ripcord was probably designed initially to have the O-ring version for the Sky Striker HasLab to have the Crazy Legs deco, because they probably weren't thinking they were going to get to Crazy Legs Night Force figure, so they were probably just homaging that with Ripcord. And then when they did that, they kind of painted themselves into a corner with the HasLab to do the same figure but 6-inch. And then when they decide, because again, I'm not sure if this is common knowledge now, but I think we talked about this in the past. But originally, the Tier 3 was going to be a gold head steel core figure, I believe. And when I think they decided to change their mind after what happened with Glenda, they wanted to put another kind of redecoed character in as opposed to like an army builder. And they ended up going with Crazy Legs, because it makes sense as a vintage airborne sort of character for the theme, but of course they've utilized his deco for Ripcord, so you get this kind of situation that where they painted themselves into a corner, really. And I'm trying to think of any other Night Force figures that would have made sense, but I'm pretty sure that on the Night Boomer artwork, it's like Lightfoot and Crazy Legs, isn't it? It's someone weird. It's basically two characters with helmets, pretty much. Kitty said. Pure Soul 81 says, I'm absolutely loving G.I. Joe classified line as well as the Hiss tank. I'm totally looking forward to the Dragonfly and everything it comes with, not to mention G.I. Joe comics are back in a major way. So much to be excited about Pure Soul 81. I 100% agree with you. I'm so loving the comics. And I have had the pleasure and the the privilege of an advanced copy of Cobra Commander. And I'm not going to spoil anything. It is freaking awesome. It's so good. It's so good. So anyway, you're in for a treat on Wednesday, I believe. G.I. Joe could work for TV, but not Agents of Shield tone or quality. I agree, Leon. I don't know. It has to be if my if our detective capabilities are correct and the Lioness utilized elements of the Lady JTV series, which I don't think is the case anyway, but you never know, then it would have been a lot darker and a lot meatier and a lot like, you know, deeper than your usual kind of stuff. Can't believe the company goes ahead. So yeah, Johnny, same. I can't believe the same company gave us Rock and Roll, Scrap Iron, and Lieutenant Falcon. Like Rock and Roll's phenomenal. Scrap Iron is like next level, and Falcon, Mister Falcon, yikes. Um, May 1st last year, we got HasLab teasers for the Dragonfly project. I hope we get something like that again for the new HasLab project for 24. Probably, Eben. Yeah, they'll probably do that. Oh, I love those. Those little kind of like, yeah, those kind of like posts that would have like Storm Shadow infiltrating the headquarters and stuff. Yeah, that was fun. I hope they do more of that. Sunbow and a Real American Hero are not the same thing, Super Saiyan. If you're talking a Real American Hero comic, Sunbow and the comic are very different. In general terms, and I think we're talking Crimson Guard here as well. Okay, I'm missing a lot of comments. I'm so sorry. Oh, Darren, thank you. This is about the I also doubt it. I also doubt it. I don't think the GI Joe script made it there, but like we were just speculating that because of the timing of things that happened. But you say, I doubt Lioness used any of the rumored Lady J script since it's a Taylor Sheridan Yellowstone series. I don't believe he was ever attached to a GI Joe series, but kind of would like to see him do one. Yeah, no, I get that, but like even if like scripts make their way around all over the place. That's my point. It doesn't necessarily have to be like attached to a studio. Those things move around, especially if like, you know, it's not getting picked up or optioned or whatever. They can like find their way elsewhere to other studios and series and stuff like that, and writers and directors and stuff. But no, I totally get it. I doubt it too. But it was one of those things where it was just kind of like, oh god, that would be kind of cool, but also quite depressing because that would have been one hell of a GI Joe series. Either way, Lioness is great. Go watch it. Tristan, yes. So it was Chad, wasn't it, that did the Thunder Machine and Snowcat kind of leaks. But well, HasLab as a Rattler isn't something. It's one of those things that I think has been around as quite a strong option based on the things that were coming out of SDCC, and with that, there's no smoke without fire a lot of the time. A lot of the time, not all of the time, but a lot of the time, there's no smoke without fire. And I feel like the HasLab Rattler just seemed to be kind of like the big one that made a lot of sense to a lot of people. And Hasbro were talking that up a lot. Even Lenny said at one point that they like the thought of the planes, not even as like an O-ring Rattler, but as a classified one, because you could get a flight stand for it, and you can kind of like angle it so that it takes up less depth space but more height. So they like that as an idea because it kind of frees up some display and you get to see the whole thing in like it's all its glory. I for one would be blown away if they did it. I'd love to see them do the Moray though. I think I'd prefer the Moray just because it would follow that path that a lot of people have been talking about, the kind of sea, air, and land sort of scenario, or the land, air, sea sort of scenario. And then with GI Joe following that, you know, you could a land vehicle for the Joes maybe, and then you do it like that. Like it would be interesting if they did that. But you never know. They'll probably just do what makes the most sense for them at the end of the day. Right. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to skip a few comments because it's just ridiculous. Scott, that's funny you should say that. It won't be the Rattler because everyone is saying Rattler, right? You say that. And honestly, I think that would be kind of funny if it was the case. But everybody was saying Dragonfly. And then it was like that was the most hilarious reveal of a HasLab ever. All the drama that came about before and all of that stuff. And oh my god, just what an absolute wild ride that was. Chris, who would you want with the Moray? Good question, Slave, and I'll tell you. Lamprey, obviously, regular Lamprey, and then you could get the Sonic Fighters Lamprey later in some sort of amazing retro card on a Sonic Fighters retro card. Yeah. Buzzball New York Night 1974. Amazing. I once got busy in the back of a Buzzball. Shout out to Word Burglar. Working with Word Burglar again, guys. So you're happy to know if you're fans of Word Burglar, if you're fans of my music with Word Burglar, you'll be happy to know we're doing more work together. Very excited to reveal what we're doing as well. Still got some stuff to do, like make the music, but we're working together. Now, Moray, yes, I think Lamprey, obviously. Then I would go with now here is a ooh, no, that would be too no. I'd want Hydro Vipers. I'd want separate. I'd want Hydro Vipers with like available for people. Because Hydro Vipers would be amazing. Look at how the eels sold, guys. If you did a Hydro Viper single standard release, but with like a decent amount of gear, that thing would sell crazy town banana pants. I would buy 20 of them. That's how it'd work. So I would stick with Lamprey. I'd go with Scuba Baroness, which someone's mentioned, Leon. Yeah, like a underwater Baroness vibe. Maybe in the red. Yeah, maybe in the red. Mara's a good shout, Scott, on that one. Good shout. A lot of, excuse me, a lot of love for Word Burglar in the comments. Why am I burping all of a sudden? Goodness sake. Sorry, it just bugs me when I'm trying to talk and I'm just going, bleh, bleh. Yeah, so Lamprey, it would have to be female Baroness, Scuba Baroness, Underwater Baroness, and then it gets more difficult. But then I think you could do something like, have the Eels had redecos in the past? I'm sure they have. I can't even think off the top of my head what the Eels have done. I know we've got the version 2 Eels. That would be pretty cool. But the thing with that, right? The thing that I would say no with Eels version 2 again is because I think they would be able to do that as like a an actual standalone. Oh yeah, Cobra Divers. God, I'm so stupid, Darren. Yeah, you're right. Just do Baroness. Oh, this would work. Baroness is a diver, like the standard Cobra Divers that you got in the cartoon, and then Undertow. No, because Undertow is. Sorry, Danny, not shooting you down here. Undertow's a great shout, but Undertow is Iron Grenadiers. So I would probably separate the factions a little bit. Yeah, a tube worm, Justin. Yeah, that noise. I just hear that noise. Probably not the Bikini Baroness, Jason. Probably not. Yeah, I would. Yeah, okay. So we're going. Okay, we're going Lamprey, Baroness Scuba, Cobra Diver, and then one more. And that one more could be. God, what could that one more be? Let's have a good think about this. Eau de Cobra bottle with crab. Leon, you genius. Yes, I love that in the Eau de Cobra episode, which just runs off with it. The conch shell, Paul. Yes, the Baroness could have the sound of the sirens or something when she blows on it, and all the men are like, yeah. Why not Mara? No, we've said Mara a few times. It's meow, and I'm not against it. I think that's a great idea, honestly. It's all just looking a little bit samey in it because it's going to be like, but I like these ideas. But we'll see. They probably won't do. They're probably not going to be doing the moray. It does sound very much like we're getting the Rattler done it unofficially, but we'll see how that goes. I don't actually know either, by the way. Not a clue. I haven't had a clue with any of the HasLabs. Did I know the His Tank was coming? I don't think I did. I know I did. I did know the His Tank was coming. And with the Dragonfly, it was just leaked. And then it was a matter of just knowing that the leak was correct eventually. But yeah, that went up and down. But in terms of like, in terms of like right this moment, not a clue if it's the Rattler. Not a clue. Who would come with the Rattler other than Wild Weasel? Well, Wild Weasel, Pilot Baroness, seeing as Baroness is getting included in everything. You could have like that helmet that she wears and make her like in pilot gear, pirate baroness. R. That's an interesting crossover, isn't it? Um, yeah, I don't. Raven, thank you, Darren. Yes, Raven's a good shout for the Rattler. So Raven, although that's she comes with the Night Raven, doesn't she? Technically, am I right? She's a Night Raven pilot, so I'm not sure about that. I know that it's difficult for them to do the Raven as a vehicle because that is so long. That thing is like 16 feet long and like 1 inch wide. I might have my measurements messed up there. Yeah, you could do like kind of airborne troopers. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. You could do that. You could do kind of generic sort of style. Um, yeah. True, Darren. Yeah, what is the likelihood of the Raven, the Night Raven? Very unlikely. So maybe you do drop Raven in there. That would be a cool one. And it's the only time you're going to get Raven, isn't it? Really, other than obviously Super Seven. Anyway, I think the Moray has more options for figures, but that doesn't mean you don't have options for figures for the Rattler. It's just you have to think about it. You have to think a little bit more about it. And obviously, given a bit more time, I'd be able to come up with loads of options, I think. Anyway, that's HasLab, that's Dragonfly, and obviously that's the three figures we haven't seen yet that we're hopefully going to see soon in physical form. Hopefully see Crazy Legs soon as well. I want to see. Are we going to get? Is he going to be the first? Well, actually, he might not be the first not to get a render. We've had a few, haven't we, that have gone from that just haven't had a render. They just got a reveal. Let me know in the comments if you can remember if we've had any like that. Obviously, the first wave we didn't have renders. For a lot of the early figures, we didn't have renders. But when they started doing that, I don't think there have been many figures where we haven't had that in that format. Name only, render, reveal, pre-order. Anyway, yes, Cobra Gunner, Cobra Paratrooper, yes, Suka, and a Cobra Mechanic. There you go, thinking outside the box. Paraviper, the Cobra Paraviper would be perfect for the Rattler. A Cobra Mechanic would be perfect for the Rattler. Yeah, 100% with you. And a gunner, like a Cobra generic gunner. But I'd probably have like a pirate character, a pilot version character in there as well. Pilot Cobra Commander would be a good one, wouldn't it? The one that we had with the Starscream Transformers crossover. Remember that? That was pretty dope. That Cobra Commander in a pilot suit. Did Tripwire miss his render? I want to say he did, Leon. I don't remember no Tripwire render. Yeah, I think he just went straight to McLeod land, didn't he? Crazy. Anyway, Chris needs a Moray for all his pirates, says Scott. Yes, I do. Paraviper is a must for deluxe, Darren. You're right. I mean, the gear you could give a Paraviper and like take it all off, and he's just like almost naked, and then you pull the gear back on, and he's like this huge. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Darren. A Paraviper is a must for deluxe, 100%. Right then, that is that. Let's move on to this. This is the final one in terms of digital renders, and obviously this has been floating around for ages, isn't it? The SMS and Techno Viper. Pretty much, we can expect a black and red version of what we've seen in the Techno Viper. That's totally fine. We've seen that figure. We know what to expect. In terms of the SMS, I don't think we're quite grasping how bloody big this thing's going to be. Look at the size of that thing compared to the figure. I think that's the actual size of it. It might not be because they had to fit it on the render image, but I'm pretty sure they said when they dropped that render that that it was done to scale, figure and towable. If that is the case, that thing is like 8 and a bit inches high, and then obviously it's going to angle up with the missiles on it. That is nuts. That is nutty Bigglesworths of the highest order. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited to see this one, and also hook it up to my HISS tank, which is behind me up here, behind this curtain that you can't see. What's the price point for the MMS? Oh, I can't remember. I think I haven't said, but it's kind of between the Trouble Bubble and the Vamp. It's between that, not exactly between, It's on the cheaper side of between. It's around that price. 60 something. Right, so yeah, I think it's that. But it's a juicy one. It's gonna be a big one. So impressive, right? Yeah, there's loads. Eel, Arctic back. Thank you guys. There's been loads that didn't get renders. Um uh yeah, pretty much everyone's just saying eels and yeah, Arctic bat. The Arctic bat got better than a render, didn't it? They did it was in the background of a snow jobs image. I love that they did that. And again, that wasn't a mistake, by the way. They have been dropping those in now, and like that's like a fun way to kind of do these things. That one that looks like the Stinger driver, which isn't in this little episode today, but that one that looks like the Stinger driver is very, very exciting because again, it's in the Vamp promo shots. It looks like a Stinger driver to me, and could very well be. Shut up, Scott. Could very well be, yeah, like a little hint at maybe a Stinger around the corner. Please, I love the Stinger. The Stinger's amazing. It's one of my favorite vehicles so much. I love the Stinger more than I love the Vamp. What is wrong with me? Anyway, Snow Serpent didn't have a render either, Darren. No, there's loads didn't actually when you think about it. But anyway, that is that. Last up, and we do have a little bit more to discuss. So this has gone on for ages. I apologise to my wife and Phoebe, but not to you guys because I'm sure you're still watching. So well done, you. These are the unofficial leaks that I've tagged onto the end as like a well, let's talk about these. So Retro Cobra Commander was revealed by us not by accident, but we got the listings sent to us. And originally, we were told that Gargamel was going to be Retro Cobra Commander, but it's not that it changed; it's that they had the wrong information. So the information changed, and it turned out to be Recondo was Gargamel, and Casey is now Retro Cobra Commander. Now we don't know what Cobra Commander we're going to be getting. I'm imagining it is just your standard figure that we get in the HISS tank. That we got in the HISS tank, sorry, the retro one, but just with the regular logo. Now they could do a different blue. It could be something complete, like it could be thrown us completely. It could be blooming. They could have gone off the deep end, and they could be doing the battle armor one. You never know. Like I don't have the full info on that one, so I'm just assuming it's going to be Cobra Commander as standard because of the logistics of everything, and the fact that HISS tank retro yada yada yada. That said, Retro Cobra Commander, there you go. Then we had a leak we actually had 4 like in a leak. We had Road Pig, Heart Wrencher, Nemesis Enforcer at the time, and Starduster. Obviously, Starduster and Nemesis Immortal, they are now official name only reveals. And that leaves the Road Pig and Heart Wrencher, it leaves the Dreadnoks that we've got coming. Now, if like Road Pig, wow. Like I know it's kind of been, again, this one's an obvious one because Lenny's talked about him a lot. It's his favorite Dreadnok, or one of his favorite characters, I think. And the fact, the cinder block on a stick, there's a lot of cool stuff about this one. And I think we're going to get something very awesome with this Road Pig. And I'm very much excited to see this, like what they do design wise, size wise. I would say deco wise, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the version 1.1. And then, of course, we've got Heart Wrencher on that side as well. And then I think they're probably going to have to do a brand new body for Road Pig Leon. Yeah, I think they're probably going to have to do that. So, yeah, I want Battle Armor Cobra Commander really bad as well. Yes, I'm happily surprised by Heart Wrencher 2 as well. Yet Slave, yes. Can't wait to see her render as well. But you never know, she might go straight to figure. Could you imagine? With Heart Wrencher, though, I don't. I kind of want Heart Wrencher to kind of come with the Ground Assault because you could repaint the Ram, you could repaint the what's it called, the Vamp, and you could do Dreadnought Ground Assault with. I think that'd be amazing because you came with the Vamp version Ground Assault in the modern era. One of the last things the club did. One of the last things they did. So yeah, and again, I think there might be some sharing of Zorana parts here, but I think she'll get obviously her own head sculpt. I imagine there'll be other aspects to her as well that they'll give her. I think it'd be cool actually if they gave her the kind of like overalls that like undone sort of tunnel rat overall style from the Renegades figure. Like, and again, that's not going to work for a 6 inch, but you know what I mean, like the style, the design. If they did something like that for her, that would be wicked. Yeah. So anyway, really excited for both of those, and again, more dreadnoks. A little bit more dreadnoks as well come in the vehicles as well. But Iron Grenadier Bat, that was our fault, my fault, not ours, my fault. I accidentally let that one slip. Part of the 4-figure wave with Elroy as Alpine, the Iron Grenadiers, and the other one, which I can't say. But yeah, IG Bat, I just assume a bat in Iron Grenadier colors, and probably with Destro's logo on him somewhere, and maybe a few other extra things like they did with the Arctic Bat, you know, just to kind of differentiate them a little bit. Maybe give them a different head sculpt, maybe more kind of like, I don't know, just something different to kind of again, like I say, differentiate them. Or maybe we'll get the Arctic Bat sort of stuff with this one, like that head, but obviously a different color. The one with the single eye in the middle, which is such a good addition to the line, by the way. That Arctic Bat head is wicked. I love it. So yeah, there's that. And then continuing the Dreadnoks theme, we had some vehicles revealed by It's Chad, of course, on his YouTube channel. And of course, they are the Thunder Machine and the Snowcat. I've thrown these in here as, again, unofficial leaks, just really to speculate on at the moment and to be excited about. But the Thunder Machine really buzzes my berries. Thrasher, we've got to have Thrasher with that one. Lacrosse stick, sexy haircut, all that, you know, like kind of like 50s rocker sort of vibe. Yeah, I'm really excited for the Thunder Machine. I mean, geez, that thing is going to be a good size. And of course, it's going to have to be a bit longer than the Vamp, but it's going to be in, I think it'll probably be in that arena of price point, which is pretty, I don't know actually, but I'm assuming it would be if it was going to be done that way. And then, of course, the Snowcat, which is a lovely addition too. I just love the fact they keep doing vehicles that could get Tiger Force repaints. Dragonfly, check. Ferret, check. Snowcat, check. We've already got the Ram. That didn't even have a historic Tiger Force repaint. It does now. Anyway, that is, yeah, just makes me very happy. And the Snowcat's really cool. I think it's going to be more complex. So I think the price point might be a touch higher than the Vamp and, say, the Thunder Machine would be. But because obviously you're talking about a half track, you're talking a bigger, you're talking 2 people, cockpit section, you're talking a weapons section on the back, and figure kind of not storage, but figure standing storage. So, and lots of working parts, lots of movement on that one. And I know, yeah, same. You could say the same about the Thunder Machine. It's got the machine gun. They're going to have to do something where the bullet ammo belt kind of makes the barrel spin and stuff like that. I don't know. But yeah, I imagine Frostbite with that one. Samuel says, Frostbite or Iceberg, who do you think should be the Snowcat driver? Well, it should be Frostbite because he is the Snowcat driver, and that gives us an opportunity to get Iceberg down the line. Could that Thunder Machine be the Transformer crossover? Ray says, no, it's not. It's well after that, and yeah, I don't. Again, actually, I have to say I don't know, Ray, in that sense, don't I? Because I don't. If we were to get more information and I could confirm it a bit more, I obviously will. But at the moment, it is effectively, out of all of those, I would say Retro CC and IG Bat are the locked-in ones that we know about, listings-wise, etc., etc. Road Pig and Heart Wrencher are probably on the second tier below, and Thunder Machine and Snowcat are the lowest tier of really knowing if it's like legit or not. And that's not to say anything. I'm not having a go at Chad at all. Chad and I have spoken as well about this. I'm not saying it's not happening, it's not true. I'm just saying I don't know anything about it. That's all I'm saying. And that doesn't mean anything. Also, I like to make sure that's clear. That doesn't, just because I don't know it's coming doesn't mean it's not coming, because that has happened so many times. One of the biggest one was that Aesop one that we had the listing for years. We had Aesop for so long, and then it turned out to be Desert Commando Snake Eyes. It was like, oh, great. On the day as well. Didn't know until then. Anyway, So yeah, I would say I'd love. Sorry, coming back to the snowcat thing, I'd love Iceberg as a separate figure, but maybe obviously Frostbite in this one for the snowcat, 100%, and then Iceberg can we can get him on a classified release down the line and give him more accessories than the vintage line gave him. My goodness, Iceberg got a machine gun and that's it. He got the M60, didn't he, or whatever that is that he's got. Aesop was no fable indeed, Leon. So yeah. Anyway, I think we've come to the end. We've come to the end of my absolutely ridiculous 2.25 hour episode. This is an absolute record, I think. Iceberg that transforms into an orca. No, thank you, just Ice Cream Soldier. Come on, we need that. We need that. Stalker in his kayak is a great shout, Suka. I think that is a great opportunity as a figure vehicle. Figure vehicle pack. Yeah, 100. I want it so bad. Right. Right, I'm going to bring it to a close there. That's enough chatting with you, absolute lunatics. Just kidding. Had a lot of fun with this one. Let's just do a quick transition and we'll do one last round of questions. Okay, so last few questions. If you've got any, put them in the comments. Other than that, I'll just go through all the things we've got coming up. So we have still organizing the Hasbro interviews. BMAC was about to happen before Christmas, and then for some reason I got no response from the follow-up. So like again, they reached out to me to say, when can you do it? And I'm like, how's this? And then just silence. So not a clue about that. Secondly, Hasbro, Emily, Lenny, and whoever else wants to jump on really. But I think, yeah, Emily and Lenny from the Hasbro team, we'll be talking with them soon. Again, that is another one where it's kind of, it's got to the point now where do we just wait for the live event? I think we might have to. But what's really sucky with this is that we keep missing opportunities to talk about the figures, and it's really bothering me. So I'm going to be way more pushy in the future with Hasbro in terms of like, you want to do this, I want to do this, let's do this now. But it's getting to the point where I'm just like sending an email and then just, have to wait a while, then they get back. And I know everyone's busy, but the annoying thing is I'm like in contact with Emily and Lenny and they're just like, yeah, let's do it. And then you have to go through all the other channels and it just slows down and it just becomes like, yeah, it slows to a crawl. And I don't know why. I'm not sure why. So anyway, hopefully we're going to be doing that very soon. James says, chances of being able to do vac metal things for Sky Patrol. Probably minimal. I don't think vac metal is something that can really be done on a large scale that Hasbro would need to do it for without it being some issues. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think they can do vac metal in the same way they used to do it. Just doesn't it create a lot of creates a lot of toxic, not toxic waste, but creates a lot of waste, a lot of problems in getting rid of that waste as well. I suppose it is toxic waste at the end of the day. It's like eco warriors all over the place. Yeah, start flexing on them, Scott, big time. Shooting the Galaxy interview update. I'm just really bad at reaching out, and I will do that immediately. Sorry, Paul. I do want to talk to Shooting the Galaxy so bad as well. Again, I'm not sure if I should just wait until the live event though, because I know there's going to be more promo images. There's going to be more stuff. And he'll probably be able to get into a lot more detail of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe we wait for that. I'll reach out though, and I should be doing that anyway. They should give me the next Ninja Force leak. That'd be cool, Todd. Hey, Chris, got here late, was playing with Tunnel Rat and Range Viper the boys got today. Amazing figures. That's awesome, James. That's really awesome. I've got Range Viper and I have regular Tunnel Rat, but I don't have Night Force Tunnel Rat. I know that's been turning up recently. Any word on a potential Monkey Wrench, says Mark and Rosa Bowers. I would say, Mark, that's got to be high on the agenda, but I haven't heard anything of Monkey Wrench. Again, not to say that ain't happening. But definitely something that I would expect to be on the cards if we're getting Heart Wrencher and Road Pig and blooming Thresher. Then I'm pretty sure Monkey Wrench has got to be on that list as well. It's a short list now. Zanzibar, Burnout, Rugrat. Who else? Um, Zanya, Zanya. Anyway, what else are we saying? What do they did it on the Sky Raven though? Oh, what you mean? Yeah, but like, oh, you mean the one for the club? Yeah, but it wasn't definitely not as much product because yeah, it was Hasbro licensed, but it was through the club. It wasn't. They didn't do the same amounts that Hasbro do, and I don't know. Like, I wonder if it would be too much on a classified style, size, etc., etc. I don't know. I don't know. They might do. Vac metal hasn't gone away completely. It's popped up on some things, hasn't it? In some places, and it flakes off. You're right, Scott. It does, especially on joints. I'd love Sky Patrol figures though, 100%. 20 to 1 in the UK, and I have work tomorrow. Great stream though, full force. Give me a massive road pig. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate you, staying hardcore all the way through the early hours. Are you back to collecting yet? Buying a house is so expensive. Nixon's Prime, no, not really. I've been very fortunate in that people have sent me a lot of stuff for free, so that has been great. But in terms of like getting on the collecting bandwagon, nay, not yet. Probably give it a little while, and then I'll be back in the game. Do you think we'll ever finish the original 13? Yes, I do. Just make Super 70 Sky Patrol since the fan base convinced Brian to do it for Silverhawks. Good idea. They definitely want to complete the Dreadnoks. Yeah, they do. Sorry, I had to finish going over stuff for 306 and the coming redacted by Skybound. Diana, oh, I can't wait. I'm loving the comics. Absolutely loving the comics. Skybound, keep it coming. Thank you. Any chance for Scarface? I don't know, Adam. It's not a character that's got a lot of specific design elements that isn't just it's just a trooper with a scar at the end of the day, isn't it, basically? So I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. Yes, for Super 7, that's something I could see Super 7 doing. Not necessarily sure Classified would, because you've already got like tons and tons of officers and troopers. Does giving one a scar really differentiate it enough, or do you have to do something else to it to really change it up? So I don't know. Maybe the second part of that, maybe Adam, for it to be realistically utilized in the Classified series, do a big update to him. Got Firefly and Wolf Spider today. They're really good figs. I'm jealous you got Wolf Spider. Firefly's great, actually, Derek. Yeah. Dreadheads, George. Are you serious? Get out. Billy Bob, all of them. Goodness me. Cletus. That was a bad move. Although it did get us that Zangief Norgahide cluster bomb of a figure, didn't it? With I forget his name now. Crusher, Dreadnought Crusher. But yeah, hilarious. George, get out, get out. Are you and Darren together watching this, by the way? I love those pictures you sent me the other day, but that was so funny. It was so nice seeing you, even though I couldn't see you. And I think that wasn't the first time I'd seen you, Darren, but it was I hadn't seen many images of yourself, so it's nice to put a face to the name a little bit better. Tristan got his tank today, and it's amazing, mate. It is amazing. It's one of the greatest things of all human history. One Dreadnought per wave for 2024. Make it happen, Hasbro. It looks like it's happening. I demand an airtight post haste. Thomas Mahoney. Hello, buddy. Yes, airtight has got to be up there. Airtight, mainframe, dial tone, lifeline. So many figures that can be done that are going to be so awesome. And airtight's one of them. Just holding hopes for a Storm Rider. Yes, Storm Rider would be good because, yeah, you get like a motorcycle out of it too. No, the original 90 Sky Raven, not the Sky Striker. Okay, Darren, I get what you're saying now, bud. Yeah, I mean, they've done it for those, but not for a long time since, Hasbro. I don't know if they would do VAC metal. I don't think they would, personally. I had Firefly delayed on Pulse again, 11 months from pre-order to shipment. Leon, that sucks. Okay, I'm going to bring it to a close now, guys. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for all the comments and all the questions. It's been fun. It's been great hanging out with you guys. I'm not reading that out, actually, Thomas. But yes, I've got a habit of doing that to you, haven't I? Just kidding. Love you all. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll be back with loads more stuff. So obviously, we'll be keeping a close eye on G.I. Joe this week, because I've got a feeling there might be some reveals. Higher Toys have been quiet for too long. There'll be comic news this week, and of course, with Cobra Commander. And then, of course, we've got the weekly on Friday. So keep it locked. I'm probably going to try and do Let's Talk Classified episodes live from now on, just because it's easier for me and I get to waffle on for hours and hours. But anyway, it's been a pleasure. See you guys on the next one. Stay fresh cheese bags. Did I say that correctly? I think I said tweeze bags. What's a tweeze bag? Stay fresh tweeze bags. And after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. See you later. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/TheFullForce. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @TheFullForce Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.